Because we're live, bitches.
Coming soon to this theater. It's alive. It's moving. It's coming this way.
What is up, everybody? It's your boy Brian. God, I can't even fucking talk tonight. But I can't talk. And I'm a little Dane Bramage, to be perfectly honest. But I am here tonight, and with my boys, and we are going to be talking about Terrifier 2. Now, if you've never seen Terrifier 2 before, link is below in the description where you can watch it for free, unedited. That's the important part, because man, this is like one movie you don't want to watch. I mean, shit, you don't want to watch the edited version of anything, but you especially don't want to watch like an edited version of a fucking splatter movie, right? It's like going to see a skin flick and like not seeing any penetration, right? Nobody wants that. That's you know, that shit's just disappointing. It's like, wait, I came for hardcore, not softcore, but and you know, and Terrifier 2 is nothing if not hardcore. The original Terrifier came out in 2016. Movie by Damien Leone, who also did all of the makeup effects, which is really impressive when you think about it. And but yeah, we're gonna get into it. Also later, our friend Crystal McGhee is gonna be joining us. She has a new comic coming out, and she's gonna tell us all about it. And I know that she's like a Terrifier fan. You know, man. Yeah, you know, I remember I was doing a stream with her and Peter Gilmore, and we were talking about gateway horror movies, right? And hers was like Hellraiser. I was just like, what? And she's like, fuck that easing in, drop them in at the deep end. Right? And I can understand that. But anyway, yo, Sam, what's up? Much love to you. Maiden Hell, good to see you, darling. Good to see you, sister. Phantasmagorical, good to see you, darling. Oh yeah, I got Corey in the house. What up? Everybody, thank you so much. We really do appreciate you because, my God, you could be watching a bunch of other stuff and you're watching us. You're hanging out with us, and we appreciate that. We really do. Timothy Olsen in the Hizzy for Shizzy. Yeah, man. Good to see all of you. Anyway, before we get into it, got to bring on my boy, your boy, that Butch Cleaver Burke.
What up, man? What's cracking?
Let's crack-a-lack it. What are you? Speaking of crack-a-lack it, what are you drinking there?
I'm drinking some six-shooter coffee. It's pretty good.
Wait.
Yeah, it's like this double the caffeine.
Nani?
Yeah.
Like homeboy's not drinking beer? Wow. Okay. No, that yeah. I mean, not that like gets me all butthurt or anything like that. It's, you know, you do you by all means. It just throws me for a loop. That's all. What up, Shadowhawk? Good to see you too, brother man. And Pops, how are you doing, homeboy?
You know what's up. We're here to do the thing with you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
We do.
Ooh-wee. So yeah, we're talking Terrifier 2 tonight. The movie that allegedly had people puking and fainting in the aisles, right? Now, this was I think the first movie was made for something like 300, I think around like 300,000. Is that even possible?
Wow. Not anymore, I don't think. That first one came out 10 years ago, I think.
I got to throw it out
10
there.
years, right?
Yeah.
I got to throw it out there to the chat. If anybody saw anything like that when you went to the movies to see this, tell us. If you saw somebody fall out or puking or doing anything weird when you went to this movie, give us your story. Tell us all about it, because I'm skeptical.
Yeah. Here's the thing. So was I. And I saw an interview with the director, Damien Leone, and people were asking him about this. Like, what's the deal? And he's just like, dude, I wish I was making this shit up. Because he was like, I wouldn't be above making that shit up. Right. He's got like a William Castle attitude. Why not add a little? You've got the steak, add some fucking sizzle. Right.
Gotta lean into it.
Yeah, because he was just like, if that wasn't happening and somebody gave me the idea to like go out and say that, I would say it. I would fucking lie. Hell yeah. And he's like, I'm not above that. But yeah, evidently some people, well, here's the thing. People are pussies. And I guess it's just like, really, if you're walking into Terrifier 2 and you're not there for what you get, and you're puking and you're fainting, I mean, you deserve what you get. What can I say? I mean,
yeah, man.
But the thing is, it's just like, you become a really jaded horror fan, right? And you've seen everything.
I got a shout down under to Corey, though. What's up, Mr. Barton?
Yeah, most definitely.
Yo,
wait, I
Barton.
already shouted at Corey out. Well,
I know,
shout
but
him out
I did
again.
I
got two
had
shout
to.
outs, Corey.
I had to.
Yeah, it's all
you
good.
already did, but I had to.
That's all good. And Kurtis says people are pussies. Yeah, well, look, horror's not for everybody. And I understand that, and I can respect that shit. That's fine, right? It's the same way, like, I don't like sitcoms. Right. Sitcoms, I can't sit through a fucking sitcom. That makes me want to fucking stab myself in my fucking eyeballs. Fucking Friends? Seriously, put fucking bamboo shoots under my fucking fingers before.
Dude, I couldn't watch Friends. Look,
yeah,
I could watch that 70s show, but I couldn't watch Friends.
You can watch Seinfeld. Seinfeld's pretty funny. Seinfeld's like Seinfeld and Married with Children. Those are probably the two I could watch.
That was good.
I thought the Seinfeld masturbation episode was like brilliant. And then, like, all the episodes I watched after that, like, just didn't live up to that one episode, and I was just like, I stopped watching it.
Well, see, but that's what happened with me with South Park, because I still think the first episode was the best.
Well, yeah, I mean,
aliens, Cartman blowing fart gas out of his ass and burning shit up,
getting all that shit out of there.
Best one, dude.
Yes, I agree. But yeah, pick a better sitcom, dude. You know, look. It's like if some people are into sitcoms, I'm sure that there's like a differentiation that you get like a real bad sitcom, and then you get like the Shakespeare, like, you know, the Citizen Kane,
right?
The Vertigo.
Hilarious back in the day.
Oh my God! I remember seeing the very first season of The Simpsons, and my brother and I videotaped every single episode because we were like, "There's no way that this is getting renewed.
Yeah,
there's no way that there's going to be a season 2 of this shit." And it's never, since there's only going to be one season, it's never going to go into syndication. So that's it. It's just going to disappear. So we need to have the shit on tape because we couldn't
definitely
shit that we were seeing, right?
Yeah, you never knew, man.
Taping every episode up until the last time I saw him, and I wonder if he's still doing that.
And that shit's still on the air.
Yeah, right? It was like 20 years ago. I hadn't seen him in a long time, but he had been doing it for 15 years already.
Well, they were saying like crazy shit on there that you couldn't get away with anywhere else because it was a cartoon. So then it was just like, well, no, you know, we can't take this seriously. It's for kids. Oh yeah, we got Crystal with us. What up, Crystal?
Hey,
McGhee.
How's it going?
Good to see you, darling.
Pretty good.
Yeah, Crystal. I've heard rumors about her that when little kids come by on like Halloween, she hooks them up with the candy. Right, I'm not saying, you know, because if you don't have candy for the fucking kids, you're a piece of shit, right? Or if like you run out of candy, start handing out comic books, something, right? You gotta hook them up. Gotta hook them up right. Well, I've heard rumors that Crystal likes to like slip in like a little DVD of a Serbian film. Right? So these little kids get home with their candy, like, what's this? And they pop it on, mommy!
Surprise.
And you know, it's also the uncut edition, so you know, might as well go all the way with that.
Yeah. I mean, look, you know, why would you want to watch a watered down version of a Serbian film? I mean, there's like a version of Cannibal Holocaust that has like all the animal violence removed from the movie, right?
Wow.
And that I'm cool with, but I also understand. I mean, mind you, you know, when it came to any of the animal shit, I was like doing this, right? Because that's where I'm pussified. That's where I'm pussified. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, no, I can't deal with shit with animals, right?
Yeah, it's pretty hard, man.
And also it's just like I mean, I'm the kind of guy that gets mad when I'm playing a video game and the enemies are sending dogs at you.
Yeah.
And you have to shoot the dogs.
That's
that, huh?
dude. What about the people they cut up though, Brian? Like they just,
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's the thing. It's just like
you're like, forget the people, that
exactly.
that poor
I can be marching through a fucking video game and like realize that like my body count is well into the triple digits. And
Happy Easter. Why?
Taste on pops.
The thing with the animals, what you were talking about, it's like I those things take me out of the movie because I instantly start saying to myself, "It's just a movie. They didn't really do that."
Right. Peter
It takes me out of the movie every time.
Right. And you
Well,
see like
except for the times they actually did that, like Cannibal Holocaust.
yes, but I also understand that that's part of the movie, right? And that's one of the reasons it has a really powerful effect on people. Because the sick thing about Cannibal Holocaust is that's a really good movie. It's like it's actually really well made.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and that makes shit like so much more disturbing than if it's just like trash.
Right.
But anyway, you have a new book.
Yeah. Well, it's the next issue of my book. But yeah.
Yes, indeed. Do you want to tell us about it? You got a link or something for us to share?
Yes, I have a link. Let me send it to you. Like super fast.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. You can take your time. We're mellow here. I'm a mellow type of fellow, but always in charge. Sorry, now I'm quoting Big Daddy Kane. But
you got Michael Coulter calling you out in the chat, Brian. He says, "Remember me, big dude."
A who?
Michael Coulter.
Oh, do I have somebody step into me? Is that it? Yeah, Brian Christgau. Remember the big dude? What up? Good to see you. Thank you so much for tuning in. We do appreciate you. Timothy Olsen says, fun fact, Cannibal Holocaust was actually put on trial. And they had to bring in the actors to show that they were alive.
Yes.
Because people thought it was a real stuff.
That marketing campaign was so good.
It set the standard. I mean, the success of the Blair Witch Project also was largely due to the fact that they had a website that was convincing a lot of people that these kids had actually gone missing.
Well, now, if you do it, man, flyers out too. I thought,
I think they did. They may have had a street team and that sort of a thing. But it's just like, I'm sorry, if you're watching that movie and you think it's real, you watch a Cannibal Holocaust, you think it's real, you're a dumb fuck.
Because, dude, like, their parents were calling him up, like, are you okay? Your mom's like, are you okay?
Like we have a friend that went to the movies and like saw you like chopped up, turned into fucking mincemeat.
But even then, like they used different names for the movie, so like I don't know, like.
And they were really good actors too. That's one of the that's the original found footage movie. A lot of people think it's like Blair Witch Project. No, Cannibal Holocaust. But one of the things that makes that type of a movie effective is largely due to the acting, right? It's just like that's where the actors really don't have anything else to hide behind,
right?
I'm not a fan of like the found footage genre, and it's overused, but that doesn't mean I'm like immediately dismissive of it either. I think there have been some found footage movies that are fucking really good. My friend Chris, much love to you if you're listening, brother. I got him to watch Ghost Watch. Have you ever seen that? That was a movie that was aired on the BBC, and people thought that they were watching like a live seance. And that Pipes, the ghost, in that, it was creepy as fuck. Maybe we'll do that next week. But it caused a hysteria. Like people were calling up the BBC and being like and freaking out. Because also, remember, there's moments in that, Crystal, if you remember, where the broadcasters suddenly are talking and you see like a shadow behind them.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Right? That looks like a man in a dress.
Oh, that's scary.
And the grandmas are like, no, watching on the BBC.
And you think to yourself, it's just like, wait, like I see, like, do they not see that? And then the people start calling in, like, yo, we saw a shadow. And it's like, yeah, it's probably a trick of the light or something like that. But yeah, Ghost Watch, very, very highly recommended. I love that freaking movie. Anyway,
it wasn't a shadow. That was a cloud of smoke.
Yes, everybody, go check that out. Why am I having problems copying that? Hold on.
I put it in your chat, my chat, everybody's chat.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So this is your second book. I read the first one. Really enjoyed it.
Thanks, dude.
But wow, that is something where you have the author really giving you like a look inside their head.
Oh yeah, dude. There's some wild stuff.
Like some wild shit. It's very, very your work's really idiosyncratic. That's to say, it's just completely. It's not like anybody else's, really.
Oh, dude, no. The feels. What is this?
No. Look. I really do try to tell it like it is. If I think somebody's book is shit, I'll just like not talk about it.
That's
right?
how I am, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just like you don't want to be discouraging. Everybody whiffs sometimes, and you just
Sometimes they get better next time, so
Yeah,
it doesn't hurt to
right.
Right.
So then it's just like even if it's not good, you're just like, yeah, but keep trying and hope.
You'd be surprised. Some people make like a crazy comeback, dude. Like it's
really
insane.
Do. I love that. That shit makes me happy when I see it. Because it's inspiring. It convinces me that like I feel like my shit's at like a professional level, right? That's always that's always been my goal, is just to like get my shit to like a professional level, and then then start thinking about glory, right? About making like a masterpiece or something like that. But to me, it's just like that's just a goal you keep reaching towards. And when I see, in the scene, like my favorite thing is watching people level up, and I see people leveling up all the fucking time. Matt's leveling up, Sim's leveling up, fucking Preston's leveled up.
Well, part of that too is just like the constructive criticism.
Yeah.
And the internet has helped bring people together in a way that they can get more helpful opinions and sort of converse and learn from people that are a little bit further ahead in their journey than them. So that's pretty cool about that.
Yep. No, it is. And, that's one of the things I love about guys like the aforementioned Sim and Preston. Those guys are all about, helping people along, because we've all been at that place, right? It's just like forget who was.
Gotta start somewhere,
Yeah. Who was it said a professional is just a amateur that never quit. And I'm a big believer in that. Like Ray Bradbury said, jump off the cliff, build your wings on the way down. I look at my old shit and it is rough. And I've
dude, the old writing. I'll go back and I have scripts from like 10 years ago, and I'm like, this is so trash. And while I'm reading, like I'm going through and fixing it, I'm like, can't let anybody see this. Your computer gets hacked.
Yeah. But it's just like you go back and you see how much you sucked and you see how far you've come.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like most people don't get to, they're not exposed to people's like whack shit, right? It's just like they come across them once they
only see once they're there. Yeah, dude.
That's why it's like always important. It's just like whoever your heroes are, go back and like if you can get access to their early shit.
Right.
Dude, because Alex Ross, he posts on like Twitter sometimes. And it's mostly all just like artwork and work in progress stuff. But he posted like a picture that he did when he was 10 or something like that, like 8 or 10. Yeah. And then the images that he does now. And at first it was just like stick figures. And it's like, dude, that's how like dedication.
Yeah. You You have to learn how to crawl before you learn how to walk, and you have to learn how to walk before you can fucking run, right? And yeah, and so people often don't see us like slipping and falling on our asses. Oh man, yeah, my old shit makes me cringe. But it's just like, I remember Preston was bitching about like the Rockabilly Road Trip, right? Because he put out the trade paperback that had like the first 3 issues that he illustrated. Mm-hmm. And this is back when his work was really rough, but it didn't suck. It was charming, right? But then it's just like, and he was like thinking like, shit, maybe I shouldn't have put that out. I'm like, no, because you can see through the process as you go from issue to issue. You see him leveling up, and that's important for people to see.
Yeah, because and then sometimes as like an artist, you get into. Or a writer, you get into where you're like, oh no, it's not ready, I shouldn't put it out. But then if you keep doing that, you're not going to have anything to show people because you just keep holding it back. And that's happened to me sometimes, but I've kind of worked on that. So now it's like, even though you think, it's not ready, just kind of let it out into the world and kind of get it off your shoulders.
Yeah, and then if they end up making a mess of things, you could just be like, oh well, wasn't me. Like I take no responsibility.
Oh no,
it's him.
Yeah, most definitely. Anyway,
some killer art right here.
Yeah, do you want to tell us about your book and why people should go check it out?
Well, if you like Arthurian lore, we have a lot of elements of that and stuff like Conan the Barbarian, Camelot 3000, which I especially love.
Oh, me too.
Oh, dude, that was like
amazing.
And this is kind of similar in the way that we take a lot of the interpersonal relationships and the family dynamics. And so it kind of starts off, there's a knight named Sir Alexander, who's the little teddy bear there. Yeah. But he's originally a knight of King Arthur's court. And he successfully kind of clenched the Grail, and he's on the way back. King Arthur's sick, and this will kind of bring him around out of that.
Oh, so he's kind of like Parsifal.
Yes. Yep, okay. He's kind of like taking that role. And so he's on the way back. His best friend, King Mikkel, kind of betrays him and takes it from him. But Alexander puts up a fight, and it doesn't go too hot for him. He gets turned into a teddy bear and sent forward in time. So now in present day, he has to protect his new master, which is young Jack, from Queen Belladonna. And there's a little bit of beef with Queen Belladonna and his father. And it just kind of goes into that. And it's very fun, very epic adventure. And they just kind of go on a quest to bring him back. But it's not quite what you think it is as you go on.
I love those stories, where the knight or the king he's usurped by someone or something and has to find his way back.
And you'll also see characters that you kind of know, but with the special little twists that we have going on. So you'll see King Arthur is kind of cryogenically frozen by magic. So you'll kind of see, there's an opportunity possibly for Sir Alexander to end up bringing King Arthur back in present day to kind of help him with the threat. And you'll see Merlin and some of the other knights that are still alive. Some aren't, some are. So you'll kind of see which ones kind of made the leap into modern day.
Nice.
That's nice.
Yeah, man. I mean, I love the Arthurian stories.
Me too.
So rich, dude. You could just go for days on that.
I'll take any of it. Like Excalibur is the best as far as film, in my humble opinion. But I even like.
It's not even close.
Ellen Mirren, dude.
King Arthur, I like
Ellen
that too.
Mirren just blew that out of the water.
Yeah,
I know.
She did it again in the new Shazam movie, but I didn't watch that yet.
It's pretty forgettable, unfortunately.
What's sad about that though? So I was thinking, like, it's so sad because Shazam could be done in a very simple way. I think the issue that I have is like Zachary Levi.
Yeah,
I'm so bad at like people's names, but
most people
I like him and other things, but I feel like he's hamming it up too much. And the kid that's playing Billy has like such a mature kind of like, he had to grow up fast, you know?
Yeah.
So he has that vibe about him, but then when he turns into Shazam, it's like he's goofing off, and I'm like, this is two separate characters right now.
Yes.
Because there was a scene where, like, I'm not going to give away what happened, but like the kid was crying and putting on like a good like performance, and then all of a sudden Zachary Levi pops up, and it's like he has a goofy smile on it. I was like, whoa, like the tone change just went like.
Well, I think that's because they were approaching it kind of like Superman meets Big.
Yeah,
right.
Definitely.
That was always the pitch for that movie.
Yeah,
because I know they've been trying to get that made.
But even then, like Tom Hanks still was like mature in certain ways, but like I felt like that was a better, more effective approach, the way that they did it in Big, because that kid did know a lot of stuff, but then there's stuff that there's no way he could know, so then that worked out. But here it's just like,
I agree,
it didn't mesh.
Yeah, I mean, I liked the first Shazam movie. I didn't love it.
Yeah, me too.
And I don't think it's so much Zachary Levi as the way the character is written, right?
Like, like it's in the writing for sure, because I like him. He's very charismatic. Yeah. It's just that the two sides of the coin aren't meshing.
I like the suit better too in the first one. It was more like fake, like cartoony-ish, you know, which I thought kind of it looked way better.
Cheesy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like the muscle suit.
Big red cheese.
The new one it was too tapered. They always got to do that with every superhero movie, like Batman Returns, Dark Knight. You know, they got to taper or something and tweak it too much.
They'll do that in animation too, because I saw Across the Spider-Verse, and there were some characters that had like a completely different suit, like Spider-Man 2099 from like the last film that they tease him to now, like the suit fully changed, and I was like, wait a minute.
Well,
I gotta see that.
You kind of get the feeling, at least I got the feeling, that that the Shazam movies are made by people that don't remember what it's like to be a kid. Because it's just like, yeah, kids can be goofy, but they can also be so fucking serious.
Yeah, they're real smart too, and then they call you on your bullshit.
Yes,
and they do it by accident in the beginning, and then later on they start like, you know, reason comes into play once they start, you know, hitting a few more years, then they're like, all right, motherfucker, they'll start calling you out on your bullshit, you know, or just
I remember the first time that happened to me. It's just like, I had a friend who, Zulfi, if you're out there, much love to you, brother, who had a son, right? Laith, who's like, I don't know, 5-6 years old. And I brought over, because his mom was showing him too much fucking Pixar shit. I'm like, you need to fucking show him the Iron Giant.
Yeah.
And next thing she knew, he was just watching that over and over and over.
Yeah.
I was just like, Hank, that's yours now. And because I had the original DVD. And so when you open it, out comes the advertisements for the toys. And so he looks at the toy, and he's like, I need those. I was just like, oh fuck, I gotta go to eBay now. And so I went to eBay, and
are those toys like pretty expensive now?
Oh yeah.
Some stuff jumps up, because like I collected Transformers.
Yeah.
I'm low on coffee today, so
you and me
you're
both.
getting there. I'm catching up. I have it right here.
I just got caffed up, so I'm good to go.
But I have a ton of Transformers that I'd collected, and I still have them, and they're all in really good condition. And it's like, I have one that I kind of want to complete my set, and then I go and look online. It's like, $500 now.
You can't. Well, that's the thing. It's like, even if I was rich, like, could I justify $500 on a freaking toy?
It's crazy.
But this thing was like, I think I got this thing for like $88, right? And it was like it wasn't remote control because I had a little wire, but it was like about yay big. It was like about at least like 12 inches tall, Iron Giant, and it walked, which
cool.
and like made sounds and shit like that. And so he walks in the room, he sees the toy there, and I'm like, yeah, your dad got this for you. And he kind of looked at his dad, and he looked at me, he looked at his dad, and he looked back at me and was like,
yeah.
I don't think so.
Not buying it. Yeah,
dude, I gave my son I had a Batman, like it was like the toy I wanted. It was actually, I guess it was based on a Neil Adams Batman. It was a store in the mall called the Cartoon Junction like 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And they had a Batman and a Robin that are about like that big, and it was the blue suit Batman, with the yellow belt, and it's just made out of rubber. Finally got it. I kept it like since I was 5, so it's like 30 something years old,
Nice.
And I leave it in the garage. Whenever I go in the garage, my son's like, I want that, and I had that one. Then my dad had like a Jim Lee one with like this retractable belt that would come in like same size, like big, and so I had to give them both to him because he just like wants them so bad,
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So it bugged me about that Electra that I had in the package. Every time she come in this room, I was like, "Can I open that? Can I open that?"
Well, I mean, that's what you have to remember. I mean, because my friend's kids took they took a bite out of my toy collection because I still got tons, right?
Yeah.
But they'd come over and then I bust out the bins of toys, and then they fall in love with shit. It's just like, okay, I'll take that toy back from you. I'll take the toy away from you, and so you'll cry, and then I'll put it back in the closet where you get like dust. I don't fucking think so. But anyway, should we look at the trailer for this?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we'll get into Terrifier 2.
Woohoo!
Let me know if you hear sound. We have sound?
Nope. Not hearing anything on mine.
God damn it, man. All right, well, can you just like voice over this, or
do you want me?
Oh yeah, because I think if you I think it's because it's coming from my end, but hook us up, Pops.
Let me see what I can do.
Okay, all right, but let's go over your tiers really quick too.
Nice.
Let's see. All right, yeah. Well, Dane damaged. It's just like not only have I pretty much am I under caffeinated, it's just like I had to kick Adderall recently, so it's just like I'm I'm under caffeinated and under amphetamines. But let's take a look at your. It's a terrible combination. So the issue 2 is $25.
Yep.
And what are people getting with that?
So that is a signed copy of issue 2.
Cool.
And it's pretty nifty. In the bundle, there's a digital bundle, and then there's the comic bundle. The digital bundle collects issues 1 and 2.
Yes.
And then the comic bundle collects 1 and 2 as well. It's limited at the moment, but I'll probably start trickling in more later on. It just kind of depends. There are some people that still haven't gotten back to me just yet that need a replacement copy. So I'm kind of hanging tight on some extras.
Okay.
And I'll free those up later once people get back to me. But
excellent. Yeah, I mean, one of the things you always want to do is if you're on an issue 2 or issue whatever, you always want to give people an opportunity to get the previous issues.
Yeah.
And what do people get with the MVP package?
So that is a CGC graded copy of 1 and 2 plus a challenge coin as well. And if people kind of want to try out the Goodnight and they're not sure if they want to back yet, they can go on to mysticalcomics.com and get the PDF of the first issue.
I was going to say that MVP package, if you're giving them 2 books that are sealed in plastic that they can't read, you should probably throw in the PDFs. I'm just saying.
I mean, look.
They'll be getting reader copies.
Okay.
Yes.
well, yeah, I mean, look, digital's always good. Not everybody wants to pay fucking, $5,000. It's like shipping a
how
handle.
Indiegogo works. You have something in your head and then you're like, oh yeah, I need to go add that. And then you go to Indiegogo. It's like, oh, people already backed that.
Yep.
I know.
Yep.
So
I got
it's
that
just
queued
kind of
up
like
if you're
word
ready.
of mouth at that point. It's like, yeah, don't worry, you're gonna get a reader copy. You know, the little Q&A section.
Right.
I got the trailer queued up if you're ready.
Oh yeah. Hold on 1 second. There we go. And let's see if we get sound.
Okay, let me hit this thing.
Bitchin'. Metal. Okay, that was very metal.
Yeah, I like the battle scene with the dragons.
Yeah,
dude,
awesome.
I love heavy metal. That is my jam. Right. Particularly death and like power. That's what's up.
Well, you know,
Sabaton.
Sabaton's a lot of fun. I think of them sometimes as like the modern day Man-O-War in some respects. But anyway, dragons, demons, and knights, and one very, very mighty, brave little teddy bear. So everybody, we dropped the link. Go check it out. Help support indie comics. Crystal is a great creator, and I look forward to backing this when I have the money to back shit again.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? It's just like there are all these books I would love to back right now that I can't, but I'm getting shit that I backed from like a year, 2 years ago in some cases. So it's like I've been having shit showing up. Got Tales of Nova Terra the other day. That's fucking sweet.
I can't wait for that one. I'm loving all this fantasy like coming in right now. You know, fantasy, sword and sorcery. Seems like that's what people are kind of starting to lean into now.
There's not much of it right now.
Well, you can't have too much of it. Do you
no,
know what I'm saying?
Never.
It's like I'm glad to see also more people doing Western comics, like Baron, of course, right?
Yeah.
It's like, because to me, it's just like it's not that I've never liked if you're a comic book fan, you usually start out reading superhero comics.
Right.
There's something about that genre and that medium that's just there's a special alchemy there. But I love the fact that people are doing crime comics. I love the fact that people are doing Western comics. Sword and sorcery is making a huge comeback.
I've been seeing some good noir comics coming
out.
Comics,
of course. Yeah. Because I mean, to me, it's just like cinema or fiction. It's just like I love. It's not like I'm only into one genre, and comics is such a great medium. It's like you could do any genre in it, and it's just cool to see people doing something.
Like bony skeletons running around cutting people up with big knives and shit.
Oh my god! Oh, you got to see like
combat. Oh man, yeah.
It's just like Mike Barron, he wants Preston bad for
Badger.
No, for Florida Man.
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh
yeah.
man, he was like born to do that. And
yeah.
Look, but Preston's like, no, I want to be doing orcs getting their fucking skull split.
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah.
battle axes.
Yeah.
Shit,
Same here.
You know?
Totally.
It's like he needs to be doing shit that's metal.
Yeah.
And it's like you write for him, you make sure that your shit is as metal as it possibly can be. And but yeah, I was gonna tease a little Six Gun Gorilla, but we're not here tonight to talk about the new Six Gun Gorilla. We are here tonight to talk about the good night, and of course, Terrifier 2. Let's get into it because wow.
Put on your clown shoes, people.
Yeah. I don't know if I would say the first Terrifier is pretty infamous.
Yeah.
Odd thing is, it's just like, as you know, because those of you that aren't familiar with the franchise, because that's what it is now, it's a franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Terrifier was an 80s style slasher movie, and the director Damien Leone did all of the special effects himself. It had a very low budget. I forget how much it was. It could have been like something like $400,000. That's certainly or less even, because remember, you're talking about
100,000 for the first one.
100, you
something.
said?
Yeah, I think it was 100.
Yeah, I heard it was pretty low.
Well, here's the thing. It's like, I remember the original Mad Max was like $280,000, right?
Yeah.
And it went on to become like a hit everywhere in the world, especially Japan, but like everywhere in the world but America. The first Terrifier did really, really well. This was made for under $1 million, and it played a limited run, I guess, probably mostly like in art house theaters or something, Alamo Draft House, places like that.
They had it in regular theaters by my house, dude.
Did they really?
Yeah, the marketing was all over, dude. It was all over Yahoo.com. The whole barfing thing. This movie made a lot of money. It made for horror, made like $4 million, which is pretty good. You know what I mean? But it was for like 2 weeks. It was like that. Where it was in the major theaters.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously got a theatrical release. Otherwise, where would we get these stories about people upchucking and fainting in pools of their own vomit?
Yep.
Right. But
which
we're going
is
to get into
funny
that
because I actually, when I went to go see it, I did see a chick up front losing her lunch.
Really?
It was at that scene in the bedroom with the girl there.
The most brutal kill. Yeah, the most brutal.
Yeah, that's pretty cruel.
Out. She tapped out at that point. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Well, there's something you got to say about the gore in these movies. It's very cartoonish. It never looks real to me. I don't think it's trying to look too real. Do you know what I'm saying? Or am I talking out of my ass?
Sometimes I think it looks pretty real. Sometimes it doesn't. I think it depends on the
cringe.
Like the budget.
On the scene.
It's what the yeah, exactly.
Yeah, tell me about it, babe.
The tone and the budget.
It depends on where they're going. I think motivationally with the mood of what's going on. You know, at the end of the movie, I think it's a little more. I don't know, man. I don't want to spoil it too much, but this movie does a big jump. You know, genre
it really
and
does.
idea wise. Well, that's one thing I what are they going to do? Because I really liked the first movie. I thought it was it was a new icon. New horror icon. He was the new Freddy basically. He was.
Oh yeah, now it's
official.
The
second one. What are they going to do with the second one?
Yeah.
And they fucking did something different. But we'll get into that. Yeah.
Right. Now, those of you that aren't familiar, Art the Clown is a character that first appeared in a Halloween anthology called All Hallows Eve. Yeah. And that's the first appearance of Art the Clown, although he's played by a different actor.
Yep.
In that. And I believe that the actor who plays him now is David Hewlett Howard, I believe.
Yeah, he was a no-name. He looks perfect for. I mean, side note, I think he'd be perfect Joker. I mean, I don't know what his voice sounds like, because obviously that's part of the charm of the character is the Well,
he's going to be one of those dudes like Doug Jones. He's obviously really good at working with his body. He has I know people always rank on mimes, but a lot of the shit that they do is almost like ballet dancing. It requires this sick strength that that you're kind of surprised.
You have a strong core to do a lot of that stuff. You have to keep still, and that comes from here, and then you kind of move around that core,
Right. It's just like people think that ballet is all pussified. It's just like, wait a second.
Yeah, right.
These people are running around on their toes, and then they're leaping through the air and like landing on their toes.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't that occur to you that it might take a little fucking, a little sick strength and training to do that? Thanks, DJD. We appreciate you. Let's take a look at some of the fan paintings, posters here. I really like this one. It explains a lot of the film, I think.
This movie, it was pretty epic too. It's pretty long.
That was my first issue with this movie. Was when I heard that it was going to be 2 hours and 18 minutes long.
Frazetta right there.
Yeah.
Total Frazetta.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, the pumpkin.
And that's what I liked about this movie. It had something like that going on. I don't want to spoil it too much, but I thought that was pretty dope.
Now, there's been a lot of retro shit lately, and I have to say, I do really like the trend. I'm not saying the 80s were cool, but there was a lot of cool shit in the 80s.
They were cool. I mean, for movies, and they were cool.
Fuck yeah.
I mean, they were cool.
Fuck yeah.
The 70s and 80s, I used to get into a fight with a guy at work. I was like, no, the 70s were better, dude. And like now I'm older. I'm like, nah, he was right. Fucking 80s were just a little bit better,
1968 to about 1984, 85. That's the sweet spot of American cinema. That was the golden age of American cinema, right? It's like right now, that golden age, it's happening in South Korea, right? Golden ages kind of jump around. And the Italians had theirs during like the 70s and 60s, 70s, early 80s, kind of like the American film industry, I think. Japan, of course, like they don't really have a film industry right now, but they were making awesome movies in the 60s and the 70s. Hong Kong cinema was fucking slapped during the 80s and the 90s, and then like in the 2000s, it just got awful because like everything had to have some kind of like propaganda in it, kind of like our movie industry now, right? But it's just like in the Chinese movies, at least, like you could tell the directors are like they're putting all the pro Chinese pro government shit in like the very end of the movie. So like one of these days they can release a director's cut and go shoom and just edit that shit out. But whereas like with our movies, the propaganda is just like baked through the entire product.
Right.
But yeah, when I heard that this was 2 hours and 18 minutes long, I saw a comment on a website the other day. Actually, it was an article about Terrifier 3,
really,
which is in production right now.
I would think so.
Because
hopefully
this costs somewhere in the neighborhood of $800,000, and it made $15 million.
Oh, okay. So I thought I made $4 million. So like I'm tripping.
No. That was probably the initial receipts. That was probably the first weekend or something like that.
Right, like those first 2 weeks when I was reading on the bar bag, on Yahoo.
Right. So the American
those DVD sales were pretty good too.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And also, I think this was also released in theaters and on demand at the same time. Right, like most indie movies are.
Yep.
And so, I mean, the audience for this is there.
Definitely.
And we have spoken. And now they're making a third one. I really kind of was hoping that the director would maybe do something different. But, if that's what's, if I can't begrudge him doing a Terrifier 3 and then, he can
do something different from.
Yeah, then he can do whatever he wants, clearly. And because, I mean, this was
Gingerton.
Yes, Skolia. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Skoli Jotun. Yeah. Apologies if I mangled your name. People mangle my name all the time. Get Christgau, Christgau, so it's all good. I have to say, one of the comments said it's the height of arrogance to put out a 2 hour and 18-minute Terrifier 2.
Yeah.
I agree with that wholeheartedly, but I still love this movie.
Yeah, no, it's epic, dude. Like if there's a lot, like horror movies usually don't need to be that long. I don't think they probably shouldn't most of the time. But if you have something to say, then for fuck's sake, make it 2 hours and a half or whatnot. And I think this movie is a fucking epic. Like there's a lot of shit that goes down in this movie, and you can see little nods to the Joker and Michael Myers. You can see little nods to Halloween 2 specifically throughout the movie. Little dream sequences. I mean, fuck, are we gonna spoil a little bit of stuff?
Yeah, of course.
Fuck
everything.
It. I mean,
look, spoilers
free,
for
guys.
me. Everything but the third act.
Okay.
Right? Everything but the third reel. In other words, the ass end of the movie, you don't reveal, but everything else is free reign.
Yeah. But
go ahead.
The ending. I was gonna say the ending of the first movie. I didn't really expect that to happen. I thought he was just a straight up serial killer, this psycho killer. You know what I mean? Which would have been cool. He's a Terrifier, that, and then he's got a name too. It's Art the Clown. I like that too. They don't just call it like Art the Clown,
Yes.
And then the whole idea, the concept of him, he's a mime. He doesn't speak. He doesn't have the one-liners like Freddy. He's more like actually he's his own monster because he's always making a joke. You know what I mean?
A sadistic one, right? That's the only time he looks happy because otherwise he's scowling.
Yeah, and then they do kind of that psychological deep dive too when he meets that lady down there in the first one where she's like holding him. You know what I mean? So that there's a spirit in there, or at least there was, unless it was a sick joke. But I don't think so. I think that he was somebody, and then eventually at the end of the movie, he merged with the demon or an entity, and he became that. And so that's what we have as Art in the second movie is the ghost demon of him.
Yes,
because
of the first. Right, because in the first movie, it was, a lot like Halloween in the sense that at the very end of the movie, you discover, oh shit, he's supernatural.
Yeah, at the end.
Right? And and the implication was, oh, he was just a fucking demon. This, it kind of retcons things a little bit where it doesn't seem like he's a demon,
right?
But he's got peeps in the inferno.
Yeah,
and that's where this young lady comes in.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think he's merging with another entity. He's for sure a ghost, and he's probably merging with another world or a parallel reality. Because he wouldn't seem so kind of like what the fuck when you first seen her in the laundromat. You know what I mean?
Yes.
To me, that kind of drives that theory home a little bit. Unless it's a sick joke to him and he's playing along with it. You know what I mean?
Well,
so it's kind of like they have that there.
Yeah, let's actually take a little look at this. I do have a clip. I was going to run the trailer, but actually let's take a look at the laundromat scene. Sorry. And Michael Coulter, the gore is something else, dude. I saw that movie for the first time. I was like, holy shit.
This movie's cruel, man. Like, it's a very cruel movie.
It's mean.
I'd say it's cruel as fuck.
But here's the thing. The first movie was mean the same way.
Yeah.
This movie's different, and I love it because, dare I say, it's spiritual.
Yeah, 100%. And again, like we were talking about, you start going into that towards the end of the first movie, you know what I mean? And this one even more so. And, dude, you make a second movie, right? You make a second fucking movie. You want it to be as good as the first one, right?
Right.
And how does that this movie's probably better than the second, probably better than the first one, arguably,
so.
I could say that it is, but I have to watch it too because I really like the first one. I like the way he just comes in and just.
I liked the first one. I loved this, and could it lose like 20 minutes? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right. For sure. It doesn't need to be fucking 2 hours and 18 minutes long.
Nah, maybe.
But was I complaining? No, it's not. Yeah, it's not like Zack Snyder's Justice League, which could lose like an hour.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
100%.
But yeah, just the idea of making a Terrifier 2 like Dawn of the Dead length, beyond actually more like the Dawn of the Dead extended mall hours almost. It is, I agree, arrogant as fuck, but there's nothing wrong with being ambitious in the arts. Oh yeah, Michael Coulter mentions actually it's a bone saw tomahawk, but yeah, he mentions you all need to check out Bone Tomahawk. That movie, oh my god, Kurt Russell's date. Yeah, we actually did that some months back. Yeah, it's an awesome movie.
Pale.
I love washing machines. Dryers.
Yeah, this is just a great scene because, of course, he's all covered in gore.
Right.
And so he goes into the to the local laundromat to like do his laundry.
Gotta do the laundry, bro.
Stone Cold.
What?
This dude's about to wake up.
Right.
Oh, see, Chris Jericho is like at the end of this. So.
Right.
When you just said Stone Cold, I was like, what? Stunning Steve Austin?
I hope he's in the next one, man. Real
he
quick.
will be.
I was hoping there was gonna be a fight with Art and Jericho. That's what I was hoping was gonna go down.
Yes.
That's what I ain't gonna lie. That's what I would fucking put in the next movie.
Yes.
Like it's gonna happen.
Without
Like
a doubt.
inside
Without
the
a
war.
doubt.
You know?
That's gotta
Hell
happen.
Yeah.
That's gotta happen.
Hell yeah.
You would imagine he would reek like a motherfucker too.
A bit. Smell like copper. Got blood.
There's a clowny little ass. for the ladies. For the ladies.
Clown ass.
More clowning around.
Prismatics. Look.
I've actually seen, if you look this guy up on the IMDb, he's actually a pretty good looking dude. Yeah, across the newspaper.
It's weird because there's these parts in here that are like laugh out loud kind of funny.
Yes.
You know? And then it's just like, oh man, this shit's fucking sticking with me, dude. This is some cruel shit. You know what I mean? And it's sort of an emotional roller coaster. That right there, you know that they're making a great horror movie, and he knows when to dip in. He knows when, like, all right, I'm gonna fuck with this fool's palate real quick. I'm gonna cleanse his palate with some laughs, and then I'm gonna make him feel weird with, you know, the torture scenes and shit.
Right. It's I gotta say, really, it's like I said. I mean, 2 hour 18-minute movie. Clearly, you know, is that arrogant as fuck? Yeah, but it's also ambitious. Yeah, and that's what I really love about this movie is that it's way more ambitious than the first one is.
Yeah, mad respect.
And then, of course, we get introduced here to a new character who's known as the Pale Little Girl. So clearly there's some kind of EMP effect happening there. It creates the sense that there's a presence has just arrived.
She's like, hey, yo.
I just love the look he's giving her here. Just like, well, what?
Yeah, that's a hey, yo look. She's like, hey, yo, what's up?
And, Forest Publishing says a dedication to the role. Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah, he's been doing, what's that, like 2016, the first one came out, I think?
Yep. Yeah, so, I mean, look, I'll put it, let's put it this way. You can't see any other actor playing this character.
And back to what you were saying about the director, like you'd love to see him do something else. So would I, but this dude fucking did a like that first film with the different actor playing Art, you know, in that anthology movie. So he's gonna make it 3. I think he needs to say one more, at least a third one, so he has his Terrifier trilogy.
Exactly. And you know what? That's gonna get him when that comes out. That's gonna blow up even bigger than this did. And
yeah, definitely.
And hopefully it'll be good. I can't imagine that it will be bad.
I don't see why. I think it's going to do something probably even more different. I just hope it doesn't get too out there. You know what I mean? And like a weird, I don't know.
Well, here's
like,
the thing.
Where are you going to take it after that? You're going to make it a rom-com at the end or something? I don't know. Like, just keep it horror though. As long as it's like a horror movie.
As long as it's horror.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm good.
Right. And that's one of the things I love about this. Yeah, there's humor, like in the first one, but when the horror comes along, it's it's poker faced.
Yeah.
And what I really enjoyed about this and what I found unexpected is that it has this spiritual angle to it, right? Mm-hmm. Where Art has been brought back to life, right? We see him probing the wound in like his missile, because he shot himself in the eye.
Yeah.
Right? And so he's kind of like probing around his like empty eye socket, and he's like poking around in the hole, the exit wound, right? That took off like a little piece of the back of his skull. And he's like poking at the brain and everything, like very like, oh, like I wasn't expecting this. Whereas in the original movie, that's why I say that there's a little retconning here. It seemed like the reason why he blew his brains out was because he knew that wasn't going to kill him, because he wasn't alive to begin with.
That's true.
That he was like some kind, that he was just
some ghoul, maybe.
Well, no, I mean, like
spirit.
Clearly like a demon. That's
right?
either that's either possessed somebody or manifested itself somehow. Now the pale little girl here, she's the first like clear indication. She is a straight up demon.
Yeah, straight demon. Yeah, him. It's like there's I think they're leaving it into interpretation. Like does he know he's a demon and everything's just a mime to him, like a joke that he's laughing about it, and he's playing playing jokes with himself on himself in the third person to himself. You know what I mean? Or it's right. Do you understand what I'm saying?
It could be both, though.
Yeah, could be both too.
Because he might not know everything, but he knows something.
Right. Yep. And a demon, you would assume it's like in the job description that they hate us.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And what would they delight in? Our misfortune, our pain and our misfortune. But yeah, this is the moment that really kind of just like surprised me. And I think it just really, I don't know, man. I think this shit's really effective. Oh yeah, it's one of my tribe.
It's a hey yo moment. I told you.
It is. It's so right. You can smell it. It's so gnarly.
You like look over at him, and he's like looking, and then you could still hear it going. You look back, it's still going. Like it's still going.
And that's when you really know that she's a demon. She just lets her bowels and her bladder go. And it's like Joe Vigil, the Tim Vigil's brother, guy who did
Faust,
Gunslingers in Hell.
Yeah, I have that stuff.
I don't want to get that, man.
Oh, so good. Hopefully he's
Buck. I got all that stuff.
Man. Yeah. We need to get on his ass to like put out like a omnibus or something, right? Yeah. There's a scene in that where a demon, it just starts blowing shit out of its ass, and there's like insects and shit flying out, and it's so gross.
It's metal as fuck.
And he said, like, people were complaining about that. And I'm like, it's a fucking demon.
Yeah, it's a horror. Like that's what they do. Like it's beyond horror at that point. You know what I mean?
It's an unclean spirit.
Yes. It's supposed to shock you and be disgusting. Yeah. It's supposed to.
Yes, that's what I loved about this. It's just it's gnarly, but it's not empty gnarliness.
Yeah,
it's like one of my favorite Stephen King quotes. Every horror movie, no matter how stupid it may be, is still trying to tell you something. And this is a movie that definitely has, I think, more emotional meat on its bones.
Definitely.
And I have to say, it's a really great entrance. It's a really great introduction of this new character, and boy, she suits him perfectly. And that's what I love about this film too. It's like, yeah, it's funny, yeah, it's bizarre. There's a lot of dark humor, but it never takes away from the feel of horror. It still feels like a serious horror film. Poking around the eyeball that he stole from the coroner. Oh yeah, then she starts playing patty cake with them, and this is really interesting too. A little detail here. So the dude that's just kind of like napping while his laundry's drying or whatever, he wakes up and he sees that. And so now we have somebody that's watching the scene from like the third person, and there's nobody there. Now you could say, oh, this is an Art's head, but remember, a bullet just went through his head. Right?
Yeah.
So clearly it's a fucking demon. Although later we see her manifesting herself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where he's like butt naked.
Why this guy hasn't left already is shocking.
Yeah,
I know, right?
Like slipping out the door quietly. Yeah, I gotta go. I'll come back and get my clothes later.
Yeah, man, most definitely. Most definitely. Look, I mean, even if it was Halloween, I'd be like, okay, this is a little too Gigi Allen for me right now.
It's just a little bit too much blood. I'm just making do.
Yeah, because like I said, also, there's no way that he doesn't fucking stink to fucking high heaven. And something tells me that like personal bodily hygiene isn't like very high on his list of priorities. Gnarly. Yeah. All the makeup effects, obviously, those are a big part of the film.
Right.
One of the big selling points of this of what is now a franchise. The first one really impressed people. As a cool blacklight poster somebody did there. Yeah. Yeah, that's the first kill in the movie. I don't want to give too much shit away, but yeah, everybody, if you haven't seen Terrifier 2, go check it out. It is in the link below, where you can watch it for free, unedited. And so, yes, then we come to this young lady, who is why am I blanking? Oh, well, that's right, because I'm old and decrepit. Laura Lavera, I want to say. Wait a second. I got the fucking Lauren Lavera. She is the heroine in this, and you know that she's the heroine when you first meet her, because she's constructing her Halloween costume, which is a warrior angel. And she's putting serious work into this thing. Pouring silicone into molds. Then she has this beautiful sword that looks kind of like a Roman gladius that we find out her father left her, and she has these beautiful
wings. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah, there's nothing. Well, look. The first here's the thing about the Terrifier movies. You know that when you go into these, they're going to be as subtle as a fucking sledgehammer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's clear. It's kind of like a Dirty Harry, where the movie opens up and you see how bad the bad guy is, right? And you see like how deadly he is, and then you have the scene that introduces the hero, Dirty Harry, and you see what a badass he is, and you know that these people are headed to a collision course. Art very clearly is working for Team Hell. And our young lady here is obviously working for the other guy. And one of the things I liked about this too is it opens with this track by this new Retchwave band called The Midnight. And that too. Like when I heard that music, I was just like, oh, nice selection. So she's going to dress up after this character that her deceased father drew. And we discovered that her deceased father was having visions. And those included visions of Art the Clown. And in fact, this young man is going to be plans on dressing up as Art the Clown for Halloween. And we've discovered that when he's searching the internet for Art, he's become kind of like almost like a creepypasta.
Right.
Where it's like there have been these murders and there have been these sightings, but there's no body. And we come to discover that the scene that we saw before, the opening, that took place a year before this. And so, yeah. So he's been out there, and it's kind of like Michael Myers. It's like, he's a seasonal slasher. Seasonal,
wait till, Halloween rolls around, take that vacation.
Yeah, man. Well, wow. Homegirl here was spending a lot of time putting work into her costume, and what does art do for the other 364 days of the year? It's the same thing about Michael Myers, and also Jason. Jason Voorhees. It's just like just waiting for that one day to pop off. And yep. And this kid I discovered is his name is Elliot Fulham, and he is very into metal, and he is kind of famous for interviewing heavy metal icons. He's like interviewed Ozzy and Slayer and all these other people, and he actually just came out with like his new record too, which is cool. I'm assuming it's metal because when you see his room,
all the posters,
it's very metal, and also all of the stuff that's in that room is actually his stuff.
Oh,
like
really?
He actually brought his like vinyl and everything, and evidently he is one of us. And so she goes to sleep, and she has a very clowny dream of the clown cafe. Let's take a little look at that, because you kind of need to get the audio with the visual here, and hopefully we won't get ganked. Everybody in the audience, if we get ganked, just be patient and let us know, and we will be back. Let's see, I got the trailer. Oh yeah, there's a clown cafe. Because food's a little funny at the clown cafe. What can I say? There we go.
Little funny, food's a little funny at the clown cafe.
Don't forget your clown shoes.
No, then you're going to be rocking like art shit, and something tells me you wouldn't take too kindly to that. Of course, he's going to fuck you up either way, so. So you've got these grown men and women that are just kind of hanging out and acting like little kids, and she's like, "Oh God, what is the name of that show? It was a little after my time. It was called The Big Comfy Couch, I think. It was like a children's show, and
there's a bunch of them, dude. There's a bunch. Like there's these ones. There's this one like in Australia where they have these adults running around.
I think
crazy.
That's it. I think that might be it.
Kind of like Sesame Street a little too.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, and then I love this fucked up mural.
It's a Pride Month mural.
Oh snap!
A little bit of Barney.
Pops, you really went there, dude.
I had to. It's right there.
Gobble up your order quick before it runs away.
People have like a problem with like.
Look, that's a pride. Look, I'm just saying.
Drag queen
those
story hours.
Suspenders are sus.
Yeah, those suspenders were definitely Pride Month.
Now this is a kind of a really obscure reference. She's kind of dressed up as this character called Pippi Longstocking.
Yeah, but she's not redheaded. Yeah,
right.
But she's dressed up like her.
Because you would think with everything being as woke as it is these days that there would, Pippi Longstocking's like an old character. And she was like a girl who had super strength, right? Like she could like bench press cars and cows and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
They have her movie on one of these, I think on Tubi or something now.
Yeah, I've never seen any of the modern ones. I don't know how. Obviously, you would think Hollywood would jump all over that, but then I'm like, oh, that's right, she's a ginger.
Well, they hate. I was gonna say they hate redheads.
Yeah, they had to get rid of another ginger.
It makes your teeth decay.
But yeah, she's kind of dressed up like that character, like the pigtails and everything.
'Cause food's a little funny at the Clown Cafe. Drop on by the Clown Cafe. Drop on by the Clown Cafe.
Yeah, you just know immediately this is not going to end well.
Right. Perfect setup.
This is a little too cheery. And then this happens.
Will you help this man? You, over there. Yeah, feed this man. How about you? He's hungry.
You hear someone going, "Shut up."
She's like, we're going to feed him your bellies.
Right.
Oh, feed him open belly.
Feed him.
Right. So there you have a sin, which is indifference to suffering. I mean, look, this movie. I don't think I'm reading shit that's not there because, like I said, this movie is about as subtle as a fucking sledgehammer, 12 gauge shotgun.
Art Krispies from Sugar Plum. Fun little surprises in every bite.
So of course, Art's got to have his own children's cereal.
Art Crispy, yeah.
I love it.
People
Tell
would
me-
buy that.
Look, you got a little hacksaw.
You would be.
It's all orange milk, like
I know,
like guts.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like you wouldn't be all over that shit.
No.
I would be in a fucking
Little razor blades in there. And shit.
little razor blades and fucking bugs and
It's
shit.
Final Destination, dude. No.
Oh, it's so gnarly.
Cockroach.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's like broken glass and razor blades.
It's sex and razor blades.
And I think what looks like puffed rice or Rice Krispies.
There's no telling what you may find.
Because I mean, you can't just serve up a bowl of just broken glass and razor blades. You got to have something for that shit to stick to.
Special prize included in every box.
Wow, I wonder what I got.
Speaking of surprises, kids, we have a very special guest with us today. Now, for a guy who doesn't speak, he sure makes a lot of noise.
That fucking mural on the,
I know,
the back.
dude.
It's fucking classic.
I know.
All the way from Miles County, please welcome Art the Clown.
It's Art Clown.
Now, you kind of get the feeling during this scene that she's not having a nightmare. She's being attacked.
Right.
That this is some kind of like
A
psychic
mental
attack.
attack, yeah.
Right. Because it's very obvious that this is going to be a battle between good versus evil. And she's, representing for good. And, well, the villains always have to be more powerful than the heroes. Now he's going to hook you up with something sweet. Nah, he's going to fuck you up. And this is great.
Right there in the
We're all laughing. You're like,
Yeah. It's just what I find so interesting is that this is like it's a perfect balance of like, it's not like this movie takes itself too seriously.
No.
It
Not
takes
at all.
itself just seriously enough.
in the right spots,
Right, because what happened in the 80s was we saw and I always use like the best example of that is the Evil Dead franchise, right?
Right.
Where the first one's a balls out horror movie, the second one is a horror comedy, and then the third one's just a comedy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you have a gradual diminution of, it's not even a word, a gradual shrinking of the horror element.
Yeah.
And you don't get that in this.
I would say you kind of get even more, to be honest. Back the opposite.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree because, I mean, there are scenes in the original Terrifier, I think, that are like, genuinely horrifying, if not terrifying, right?
Right.
Like when he puts on that woman's skin.
Yeah,
right?
that was terrifying.
So he's digging through his clowny bag, and he's just like, I love. He gives people like a thumbs up. They're like, oh, wait a second.
I got something for you.
You got something for you for that ass.
He's so hungry. Feed this man. Feed it.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead, beat him that.
Yeah, she's given this very unappetizing, I guess, basically a bucket of filth.
Yeah.
Lick the shot! And for those of you that are into guns, that is of course a .45 caliber Thompson machine gun with the box clip, also known as a Chicago typewriter. This is one of my favorite shots in the movie right here.
Oh man.
Let's see that again. Oh. Now you see, that's one of those scenes that when I was a kid, I had a VCR that had like a slow motion like a.
Oh, they cut us down, B.
Oh, did they? Motherfuckers. Okay, well, it's gonna happen. We'll be back up. Everybody else that's on Facebook, they could still hear and see us. But when I was a kid, I had one of those old school, big clunky VCRs, right? And it had like a little remote control that was attached by cable. It wasn't that remote, but it had like a slow motion and this little, not a dial. I want to call it a, those things you see on control boards, that you can push up and down.
Yeah,
and
it would dial, I think.
Regardless, you could do frame by frame.
Mm.
And so you could do slow motion. You could do slow motion at different speeds. You could all control it with that thing. When I was a kid, I like, oh man, if I had seen this, I would have for sure spent about half of this movie just pausing and just
Dude, when I watch this scene too, I just imagine him with just green hair, that's total Joker, Bruce Timm style,
Right.
With the makeup even too. You just put him in a purple suit. It's the really Joker, the one we've never gotten on screen, with the big goblin nose and everything. I love that shit.
Yeah, he's not getting that part, right? Because that part's always going to go to somebody who's more high profile.
Oh yeah, till the end of time now. Ever since Joaquin.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I would say Heath, but now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
$1 billion movie,
Oh, dude. And I remember when Heath Ledger was announced as getting the part.
Yeah.
I kind of rolled my eyes,
Me
but
too.
then I thought, but it's Christopher Nolan, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not a Christopher Nolan stan by any means, but certainly for somebody that makes mainstream blockbuster movies, he's a very good filmmaker.
Once I saw the behind the scenes aerial shot of him, from a drone, in the bank robbery scene, I'm like, all right, he looks pretty cool, And then I saw I ain't gonna lie, I seen the shirt at Hot Topic and I bought it. Boom, 14 years ago, where he's just behind a glass thing and he's writing Why So Serious.
Dude, that was great.
The movie hadn't even come out yet, and I bought the shirt because I was like, nah, he looks dope and he's blurry.
We are back on the air. Yes.
Oh yeah,
we're back.
We're back, bitches. Speaking of Schwarzenegger, when actually that scene's coming up where she's putting on her costume, right? Which is she's putting it on like it's armor.
Yeah,
and that's very reminiscent of that scene from Commando.
Yeah.
Where, is it a montage?
Yeah,
I think so.
It's a gearing up for ass whooping montage.
Shoot up,
Yeah.
And then which has been
they never get old, right?
No, never. Evil Dead 2, The Crow has a scene like that.
Every Marv, Sin City, he does a lot,
Yeah.
You got to do that.
Yeah. You do. Even if it's cliche. Of course, one of the things that's really great about something that's as retro as this is, it's not afraid to to do those sorts of things because they know that if you're hanging out and watching this, you're a total fucking deviant, and you're gonna enjoy all that stuff. And like I said, I mean, like, you know, the '80s retro thing is huge right now, and it's, what can I say? It's producing some pretty dope shit.
It is.
And
it is.
And I mean, sometimes, I mean, you look at like John Carpenter, for instance, right? Who just recently teased doing a sequel to The Thing. Which I hope he doesn't.
No, I hope not. Yeah.
I hope he does. I'll take whatever I get. I'm just
like, I get that.
I'm gonna take it. I'm sorry.
I
Just
get it.
I want to Escape from New York too. You know, like Escape from something.
Well,
I don't know.
Well, I mean, like
San Francisco.
Well, look, you know, I mean, with the Escape from New York sequel, he waited way too long to do that. He should have done that right after The Thing, because The Thing was a bomb.
Yeah,
it was panned by critics universally, and failed at the box office. Audiences stayed away in droves. The two movies that were like two of the biggest bombs in 1982 were The Thing and Blade Runner. Two of the greatest movies ever. Yeah, total fucking bombs. And then they all end up getting sequels, like, just because they have built such a strong cult following. Which, you know, they definitely deserve. Yeah, Pops, I had a feeling, of course, we're going to get taken down for this. I'm also loading this up with the fucking gore. But it's, you know, it's Terrifier 2. This is what you came for. Yeah.
The banjo.
Yeah.
One little thing.
Yep. Because Homegirl is still just hanging out, playing the banjo and singing and looking happy as fuck. That to me is just the creepiest, how he starts like dancing with her. Also, in case you hadn't noticed, no fucking CGI fire.
Yeah,
that's a real fucking fire stunt. And my attitude towards fire stunts has always been the same, which is, on the one hand, if that was me behind the camera, there's no way I would like ask somebody to fucking set themselves on fire, right? There's just no way. Because if they
what if they want to set themselves on fire and they want to do it legally, though?
This is because they're fucking lunatics. This is because they're fucking lunatics, Crystal. Do you understand that? It's like John. My favorite example is like John Milius talking about this. He was doing a movie called Dillinger with Warren Oates. He said that he had this guy, a stuntman, like literally beg him to like let him throw himself down a flight of stairs. Dude, you gotta. Yeah, and it's
there's
just
always
like,
that guy.
There's always that guy, right? Or chick, right? And you know, because there's stunt women too. Our friend Margene Holden, for instance, she's done stunt work. Fuck, man. Yeah, I mean, you got to be a little fucking nuts to do shit like this. But then I understand why, because they're looking for immortality, for that golden moment, for you know, some kind of glory. Also, you got to be a fucking adrenaline junkie too, I think.
Oh
yeah. Let's see here. Stream unavailable.
I just pinned it.
Okay.
To my Twitter, and it's rolling over there.
Okay.
So,
all right, everybody, if you're sticking with us, thank you so much for sticking with us. We do appreciate you. I know, because here's the thing. The algorithms are just going to get fucking more and more restrictive. I would love for us to be able to go over to Rumble one of these days, but right now it's like the only people that are doing that and pulling it off are people like Russell Brand. But I do have a Rumble. Everybody go and check that out if you get a chance. Because at some point we're gonna have to have a
broken channel,
an exodus of some sorts. Real quick, we should take a look at Crystal's campaign again.
We're back.
We're back. Okay.
So is YouTube? I'm trying to figure out what's happening here. So they're taking down the stream,
Yes.
and it shows is unavailable until, I guess, like you pause what we're watching or whatever. Like, is the algorithm just scanning through the images, and it's like, oh, this looks like gore, and then it kind of freezes?
I think it's the audio that they key on, actually.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Because what some
I think it's
people
that
do,
music.
right?
Oh,
Well,
okay.
also, what some people do to get around this is they'll speed the clip up. They'll kind of put it on like double speed.
Yep.
But
Or you talk over.
But then you sound like a chipmunk.
I was about to say that then you sound like a chipmunk.
Yeah.
But of course, Art's fucking people up, and he is
The
doing
maze.
it, doing it the clowny mime style, without the fucking Freddy Krueger one-liners. It's like Freddy Krueger had his one-liners. He's more like from the Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees mold. He lets his hands do the talking.
We went a while, man. We went a while without a horror icon when you think about it in like retrospect.
Long time.
Like, you know what I mean? What was Freddy was the last one, right?
Yep.
That big. You know, I think Art is coming up to. He's already at their level, but I mean, popularity wise, he's not there yet.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What you say, Crystal?
Oh, I said he's gaining traction for sure.
He is.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He is. And the fact that this movie opened and made at fucking $15 million. This is
it's unheard of.
Wait till the third one, because they're gonna probably push it into way more theaters and have more emphasis on marketing this time. So
I think so too.
Yeah, that's gonna for sure.
There's big returns out there waiting for them.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's
a
like
no-brainer.
Right. So it's like on the one hand, I would like to see this director because Leone is very clearly ambitious, right? As a filmmaker, like this is so much more ambitious than the first one. And what can I say? I mean, I love this movie. I thought that it absolutely delivered. Not like I said, 2 hours and 18 minutes, really, because hopefully you won't make the next one.
He's been editing. The director's been editing these films, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. No, you're correct, but that's why.
Yeah.
Sometimes
why it feels like it's a little long, because he's not like an editor.
Right.
Is the main thing. Yeah.
Right. Editing your own movies, that's a very sort of like filmmaker kind of a thing.
It's
Romero,
tough, dude, because you think something's really good, and then they're like, "Oh, it's too long."
Well, you kind of want. Well, that's the thing. It's like it's good to have another set of eyes, and
you're right.
Some filmmakers, Quentin Tarantino, need somebody looking over their shoulder and kind of guiding them. Zack Snyder, for instance, when he had Christopher Nolan and David Goyer hanging over his shoulder, Man of Steel, I thought was really great. But then they're just like, okay, now you can do whatever you want, and now fucking.
Some people need to be watched and reined in because
they
have the talent, but they need to just have it directed.
They don't have the discipline.
Yeah,
and you do want another set of eyes on your work too, because I can never judge my own work because it's like on the end of my nose.
Well, you've been working on whatever you've been working on for so long that you have tunnel vision.
Right. And so that's the thing that I'm always curious about when I come out with like a new issue or something. It's always, I want to know, is it any good? Because I honestly don't know. And you cross your fingers and you hope that you're not making an ass out of yourself.
And that's what helps if you have an editor, if you're able to, and you have a good editor that you trust. It helps a lot because they'll come in and they'll
be ruthless.
They'll set you on the path. Yeah.
Right. For me, when it comes to like editing my own work, I found like the most effective thing I ever did was I started a scrap file for everything. That way, it's just like, okay, I'm not erasing those lines. I'm just taking them and
putting them away. Yeah. Putting them in the archive. Yeah.
Exactly. Because I might use that some other time. And you got to kill your darlings in that respect. So I'm hoping that the next movie Well, that's the other thing too. It's like now he set the bar really high,
really, really high, and you don't, and it's turning into a genre shift too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And with most movies, you have to make the second one better. You try to, or just as good. You know what I mean? In most movies, they don't do that. And this one, I think it without giving it too much of a deep dive in the first one, it is better than the first one. Third one, we'll see, and who knows where they're going to take it. You know what I mean?
I believe that Lauren LaFera is going to be coming back for the next one.
Yes.
And I believe also Chris Jericho.
That I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh man, we need to see that fight. If we don't, I mean, if it opens with that,
see his pain. What is it? Painmaker character.
Yeah, Painmaker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's have a clown fight. Come on.
Yeah, man.
And also like the consistency of the newscaster from the first one, that was terrifying too, because the makeup with that, man, they just really, I mean, you see those people like the accidents of burn victims and people that just had their faces like mauled and stuff. They really look like that. And they get to her, in this one. It's not spoiling too much, but I could spoil that. They do get to her and she's around,
Yep.
So that's going to be something else.
Right. And she is in the is it the mid-credits sequence, I think?
Yeah.
Or right. So everybody, if you watch this, watch the credits, because there is a mid-credits scene that is kind of a little bit of an intro. It opens the door to a Terrifier 3. And a character like this, by design, is always going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's like the thing I remember from the old Hammer horror movies when I was a kid was Dracula died at the beginning of every movie and was resurrected at died at the end of every movie and then was resurrected at the beginning of each film. So it's like every time he died, it's just like, that motherfucker's going to be back.
I knew too, like the franchise was something special, like right in the beginning of the first movie when he's in the restaurant, like just messing with the girls. You know what I mean? So creepy. Without any gore yet. Just that tone that they were setting with the character. That to me, that was like the most terrifying scene in the movie. That, and then when he put on the lady skin later on.
But it's just interesting because it's like he's doing a tight wire, like a high wire act, right?
Yeah,
like
tightrope.
A balancing act between between the comedy and the horror.
Yeah.
And holy shit, man, he fucking walks across that balance beam like a fucking champ with this.
Yeah. Yeah. Flying colors, stride.
Right. I mean, I'm not high saying that, right? Like,
no.
You all dug this too, right?
This movie?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I love this movie, man. I mean, again, like it's probably a much for a lot of people, but I mean, like we don't really get horror movies that are like this big, like on this scale too much, that are this iconic every few years. I mean, we don't get them every year. You know what I mean? We get some good ones, but I don't know, man. Like Mandy was another one. You know what I mean? Where it had this big cult following instantaneously.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I could talk about Mandy for days.
That's what I'm saying.
That's amazing film.
That's how this is, and that's how Terrifier 1 was. And there's only a few that are kind of like that. That really kind of stick around like that. I guess I would say.
For sure.
But yeah, I really love
that
this movie.
Chainsaw fight scene was just watching that for the first time. I was like, what?
Yeah, that movie's pure fucking metal. I mean, I watched the documentaries. He based it off of like heavy metal album covers,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And he was going to go with a different actor too. Like he wanted to get more like a Manomori and Conan type actor, like a Hemsworthian. But he went with Cage, but it was better. And then Cage, he really, he went full Cage in there in the bathroom with the bottle.
Yeah,
and,
he did. One of the best meltdowns ever.
Yeah, and he's back, dude. And Cage, he actually looks younger now again. Like I don't know if he got surgery or something, but he's got a new movie coming out where he's doing like the Collateral thing, where Joel Kinnaman, the remake RoboCop, is driving him around town, and he's doing all this crazy shit, and he's like this like mafia killer dude or something, like a hitman. Forgot the name of it. Looks like it's going to be kind of like the Hitcher as well, So
Renfield was fun. Have you seen Renfield yet?
I almost rented it. I was like, oh
it's
god,
on
I saw it
right now.
I know, and I just canceled my Peacock too, so I might have to fire it back up again just to watch it.
I mean, it's weird because it's such a weird film for me because Nick Cage did amazing.
Yeah.
And Holt does a good job as Renfield.
Yeah.
I think it's just like one of those last action hero scenarios where like the first couple of minutes or first like 4 or 5 minutes is the movie that you want.
Yes.
And then they give you something completely different because they had like Nick Cage like in like period attire. It's like black and white film.
Yeah, they
and I was like, oh yeah, this is the film I want. And then it was too modern for me.
Oh,
that was
And
actually
it just
something.
wasn't vibing.
Yeah,
for
I
me,
mean,
at least.
I was expecting a period piece. Of course, period pieces are more expensive.
I was at least a little bit more than what they gave us
Originally.
Because,
Right. Because it was like a tease. You're just like, oh, like seeing,
because Nick Cage was like going like
Lugosi.
He's bouncing off the walls. Yes. He's like cutting dudes in half. I was like, oh, this is the movie I want right here. And then right out the door.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm really excited for the Demeter. I think that one has a lot of potential.
That's good.
I'm excited for Renfield too, but I think that one has a set up the franchise like dark, Universal Monsters universe potential type shit.
I mean, I liked Renfield more than I expected to, right? I think it also helped that it was like 90 minutes long, so it didn't wear out its welcome. It looked, I remember we were watching like the trailers, and like the first one seemed like a Marvel movie.
Yeah, I didn't really like the first trailer. The second trailer with all the gore and he's fighting those SWAT team like in an apartment building or something like that. Like, ooh, that looks dope. Like that's action gore. Like I love that's my jam.
And Nicholas Hoult even has like the Dwight Fry laughed on the
oh yeah, the real dorky, like real creepy, I should say. Yeah.
The Aquafina was so bad, dude. I was cringing.
Who is she? She's like I'm like, what, like who let this
she's a terror to films.
Oh my god,
almost
she like
every film she's in, it's like it just brings it down.
Brings down the real estate.
There's only a couple. Yeah, exactly. There's only a couple.
Keanu Reeves of this Dracula.
Oh no,
Jared Leto.
This is worse.
That's another guy
this
that can stop a movie dead.
Dude, no.
Oh.
Because Aquafina, there's a couple films and projects that she's like shines in, but this and others recently are just it's not one of them.
Yeah, I thought she was, and she and Nicholas Hoult had like zero chemistry.
Yeah, dude, that chemistry was non-existent. That was like two dead bodies just chilling next to each other. There's nothing.
Right?
There's nothing.
Or like
no life.
It's one of those. It's one of those things. It's like when you see it, it's one of those things. Like when it's there, you know it. But you especially notice it when it's not there.
Yeah.
Like it's two mannequins on stage. What was
it? Yeah, they're just standing there.
Right. And then you have the opposite, like David Thewlis and Fairuza Balk in that horrible Island of Dr. Moreau movie, where you're just like, yeah, those two are going to be boning. Right? Or
gotta wait for those memoirs, dude. That's when they come out with that info,
Right. Yeah, man. And then I'm thinking Sleepy Hollow, Johnny Depp and Christina Ricci. That was also an example of like negative chemistry, where you're just like, oh, those, and you don't know what it is. It's like maybe they got along perfectly fine, but for some reason they just don't vibe on camera.
Like it didn't click while they're filming, yeah.
Right, and it's just a little painful to watch. I mean, the fact that like with Renfield, that my expectations were like in the basement. I think because I genuinely enjoyed it. I don't think it's great by any stretch of the imagination, but yeah.
But it's funny that they tried to set up a second film after this one, and I was like, guys,
everything has to be a fucking franchise.
It's like roll it back first and like focus on this movie because it needed help.
I have been disappointed so many times that I do not enter a theater with any kind of expectations anymore at all.
Right. Maidenhell says she admits it was awkward because he was much older. Okay. I don't know. Because I would think that people either like vibe or they don't. Because I've seen like Leslie Cheung. He was a actor in Hong Kong films, who was gay, very gay, right? But you see him in films with women, and he has chemistry with them. And I don't know what that is. Once again, I think it's kind of like
that's like a good actor, Oh,
great! Oh, Leslie Shinn was fantastic. He unfortunately took his own life when his lover left him for like a younger dude, and I think he was getting older. But it's just like, dude, you're Asian. You're gonna age like really well. You look at like Chow Yun-fat. You look at what's his face? Freaking Donnie Yen and those cats. Look at Jackie Chan. It's like those dudes age really well. So.
Dude, Jackie Chan just did a movie with John Cena.
Oh God.
It's like limited run, and it's like terribly like wonderful to watch.
Like a car wreck, like one of those.
Dude. But it's enjoyable though.
Christina Ricci already knew him, and she felt uneasy with the romance bits with JD. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I could imagine that because she had real chemistry with Vincent Gallo in Buffalo '66.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever feel like a loser, watch Buffalo '66. It'll make you feel better about your life. That's a great movie. But yeah, so our heroine is she accidentally sets her wings on fire while she's having this dream, or like I think it's a candle that like sets her wings alight. So she has to go to a costume store and do something that any serious cosplayer it would be anathema to. She has to get store-bought wings. And she's not alone. There's somebody else shopping behind her.
This movie has a great trailer.
Yeah, it does. Let's see, I can play that after this. So she's searching around for money to pay for her store-bought wings, and yeah.
And they took us down again.
God damn it, man!
It is live on Facebook, on Brian's Facebook, on my Facebook.
That's all good. That's all good. Yeah, and people that are watching this on repeat catch the whole thing, so it's not like I'm going to, stop the show and, talk shit. It's just these, what I love about Art is that he's simultaneously funny and just genuinely fucking sinister.
Yeah.
Genuinely fucking creepy.
Go over to the Madness Comic Twitter or Brian's Twitter. It's live. It's running over there.
Yep.
We ain't gonna let them keep us down. That's why we go to 8 destinations, yo.
Yep.
Happy Halloween.
You too.
Yeah, and then this dude makes a very bad mistake. Wants to buy a little clowny horn. There's like a moment where he comes up behind her and he's just like hovering behind her with the horn. And he's waiting for it. And, she's waiting for it. We're waiting for it. And he goes, starts honking the damn thing.
It's like a shark in this, Halloween store.
Yeah. Just like, Predator on the move.
Mm-hmm.
$8.99.
And he doesn't discriminate between men, women, whoever.
Equal opportunity here, Everybody
totally
bleeds.
Yes. As long as you're red on the inside, that's all that matters.
Yo. Can you pay for that or not?
Right? And he's always walking around with this. I love the fact that he's always carrying this garbage bag.
Garbage bag of tricks.
Full of, all kinds of like fucked up weapons. The most sinister being a flail that he has. That is, I I think it's like an elastic keychain or something. Hey. Oh shit.
You hear what I said?
Yeah. Whenever he smiles like that, it never ends well.
He heard you, but he don't give a shit.
Yep.
Get the hell out of here before I fuck you up.
What?
That's fucking crazy. I'm telling you, it was him, Allie.
And we're down again.
God damn it. So the kills in this are fucking gnarly.
Yeah, like some of the gnarliest ever, right?
Some of the gnarliest ever.
Ever, right? I mean, you've seen like every horror movie almost, right?
Yes.
So the
Yes.
scene, you know, let's
in the bedroom.
Let's get down to brass tacks. The bedroom scene when he murders that girl, right? That's got to be like probably one of the goriest scenes ever made, right? In movie history.
Oh, for
right?
sure, for sure.
Definitely up there, yeah.
Yeah, the fact that people were puking and passing out watching this,
I could see that. I could see someone finding it uneasy because it looks pretty real and like it's not that he's just like, you know, like killing her. He's like torturing her, like, you know,
He's like
almost like a Looney Tunes villain. You know what I mean?
right? And he dismantles people, right?
Yeah.
It's not like he's just and things like I'm assuming if you did that to the human body, there's no way that people would be conscious. They're always conscious. They're there for the whole thing. They don't miss anything.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things that makes him really just a genuinely unsettling horror icon now.
But see, there was so much that was funny that I pretty much giggled all the way through.
Yeah, there's some hilarious parts,
thing.
you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. The funny shit is there on purpose.
Yeah, it's
right?
to clean the palate. It's to cleanse the palate. So when the dark, sinister shit hits, it hits hard. Right. And that's the thing too. We talk about in writing too, right? Like for our funny books, you know, it's good to do that. Or our movies if we make them.
And this also has like an emotional undercurrent. I thought that was missing from the first movie.
Well, with the whole father element, you know what I mean?
Right,
right. The or lack thereof, you know, the spirit of her father. He's still back, and that's always there. That's the spirit of the film.
Yeah. Sienna, that's the name of the character that Lauren Levira plays, is somebody who, well, it's like when we see her room, right? There's all, because this is one of the things I love about this also is the art direction. There's a lot of shit in the background that you'll notice.
Very
this
peppered. The
set
design's killer.
It's full of Easter eggs.
And it feels like an 80s, that's like an 80s girl room, you know what I mean? But then you mix in the cosplay, so it's kind of hitting both realms of time.
Right, because right now the new retro wave scene, like in the music, that's being produced by people that weren't alive when the music that they love first came out.
Yeah.
And to me, that's always exciting because it means that they're going to bring like something fresh. Like, it's not that I don't like Carpenter Brute, but to me, it's like they're doing John Carpenter.
Yeah, no, you gotta make your own voice. You gotta ape them for a little bit, you know. Maybe practice, learn a couple songs, you know, trace a couple different artists, but eventually you're gonna mold your own style by proxy by just doing that, you know.
Right, but bring something new.
Let's try a little experiment as we go forward. Mute it, because there ain't a whole lot of dialogue anyway. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And see if they keep kicking us off without the sound.
All right.
You know, just an experiment.
That's all good. I just wanted to point out on the wall here is a poster for a non-existent band called Queen Phoenix.
I
saw that.
Right.
You never heard Queen Phoenix?
What I love, it's just like I said, it's as subtle as a fucking sledgehammer, but it just really works. And this young lady, Lauren Levira, evidently is a martial arts master.
Oh,
she's actually like a black belt in kung fu.
Kind of like the Warzone director, Lexi Alexander, the Punisher Warzone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Badass.
Yeah. Well, she was a stunt woman originally, but that's the other thing that's really great about this movie. Her performance is really, really strong.
That also might be what she's going to be doing in the next one too. You know, I mean, obviously she's taking blows at the end of the movie from buddy Art.
Because she's a newcomer as well, and
Yes.
I mean, relatively new.
Yes.
So this is like a pretty good standout performance for
It really is, and it's also a shame. It's also a shame because whenever you see actors giving great performances in horror movies, you know that they're going to go unrecognized.
Or they're going to get killed too early and they're never going to get famous.
fucking Tony. The fact that
Exorcist,
the fact that Toni Collette didn't get an Academy Award for Hereditary is criminal. No. That's criminal.
Don't get me started.
Right?
I'll be on that. No, I can't go back to that place.
Right? It's just like, wait a second.
Was solid. A lot of people didn't like that movie, dude. A lot of people didn't like that
and
movie.
Even the son, I'm forgetting his character's name, but the one who's became the Pagan Min entity or at the end, that was a solid performance from him. I think there's their brothers that act. There's Nat Wolff, and then I forget the other brother's
Nat
name.
Wolff, he's in Mortal. I finally watched Mortal. That movie was badass. It was badass.
That was very Matt, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And they have a show like that too called Ragnarok, where there's a descendant of Thor. But I like the whole how they handled it. I don't want to spoil it if no one's seen Mortal. If you guys haven't seen Mortal, go check it out.
There's also Ragnarok on Netflix. It was pretty good. 2 seasons, right, so far?
I watched just a couple episodes, but then I deleted my Netflix at the time. I had to get rid of it.
Right, because of cuties.
Fuck those guys.
Fuck that shit.
Sure, I binged the whole
Dude, that stuff is so disgusting.
It really is.
And the people that are defending it, you can, the door's right over there, because it's the stuff that will get taken down and the actual filth that's still up.
Yeah,
just boggles my mind.
I know.
And it's
we'll have some Play-Doh gore on here, and they'll rip our stream.
Excuses, exactly. And that was actual
shit out,
14-year-olds, dude.
Right?
What were they? 14, 15? That's not acceptable.
Gross. Yeah, no, it's nasty. But that's the thing that you, when you go overseas as a kid, right? And I remember going to Germany as a little kid. I told Matt about this. They're really not uptight about sex in the body to a degree that's shocking to Americans.
Yeah, but I mean, there's cultural differences. In Japan, the age of consent is different. It's okay, they're doing their own thing. But the problem is that Netflix, essentially an American company, is putting that out there and co-signing it, and it's
and they changed the name to Cuties too.
Yeah, exactly. And they're
gross.
just trying to hide stuff in plain sight at that point. And I mean, there should be, at the very least, a disclaimer. And I mean, they have that up, okay, but they went back and they edited scenes from Stranger Things, of all things. Because Nancy's character, so Nancy's character in season 1, they thought it was kind of creepy that he's looking in on her at the window while she's changing. They cut that out, and everybody for the most part, those 2 actors in that scene were adults at that point, as far as my knowledge of what they said behind the scenes. But then they have something with actual 14-year-olds. They're not going to cut that. You're not going to go back and take out some of those scenes, because that was some gross stuff they're talking about. And
they got all kinds of shit on
the
on
film.
Netflix.
Yeah, and you're not going to go edit
they got a bunch
that.
of fucking international fucking gross shit on there.
But you're going to go back on Stranger Things of all stuff. That's how you know somebody has a creepy agenda.
Oh, without a doubt, and it's not subtle either.
Nope.
In fact, they beat you over the beat you. I mean, it's just it's like this movie. It's nothing subtle about it.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, shit's creepy as fuck, but it's just like I said, in Germany, it's they're very, very free and open. I remember going through a train station, and you'd have these glass booths that would have mannequins wearing, sporting the latest fashions, And then I remember going by the little cubicle for Beata Uza, which is like a line of like smut and sex toy shops, right? And walking by that, I'm a little kid. I look up and I see like a mannequin rocking like the latest like fetish gear. You know what I mean? Like B&D and like dildos and shit.
They kind of do that, the same type of thing in Japan with like the hentai and stuff. Yeah.
But you would never like if somebody was like sexualizing children like the way that we do over there, that would freak them the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
They'd be like, "Oh, hell no."
France, they really they skirt that line. But, at the end of the day, it's like different cultures, I wouldn't personally care for that, but they can do them in their corner, but it's just like, that's just like crazy. And that it's one thing that like, so obviously like we watch horror films, right? And there's kids in horror films all the time. But most of the time the reality of like the scenes, for the most part, like they'll put a child into the scene and then they'll take them out and they'll put like a double in or whatever, and then they'll go about that scene. Like it's all about the intent. And obviously, like you can have like really difficult subject matter, but it's kind of how you go about it, and if it's beneficial to the story or if it's exploitative. And like stuff like that is exploitative, and you have actual kids, and it's like you're not taking them out of the scene for some of this stuff.
Right.
So that's when it gets like it's skirting that line real hard.
I remember that there was a big controversy when Franco Zeffirelli's Romeo and Juliet came out. This is like in the early 70s, I think.
Hey, they showed that at our school, dude.
Yeah, they showed that at my school too, because Zeffirelli decided to
show it to
No, well, he decided that he was going to cast actors that were the age of the characters in the play.
Right.
Which is like 15.
Yeah, and they did show her chest, man.
Yeah, and they showed his ass too.
Yeah.
Right? But it never felt.
I remember that though.
Right. I mean, look. I mean, like Lauren Lavera, very lovely young lady, right? I mean, if I were like 30 years younger, I'd be perving on her big time, right? But now, I mean, that's the thing. It's just like what's obscenity? I know it when I see it. What's pornography, right? Different people connect with different things, but when you're like putting little kids in fucking lingerie, I think it's pretty fucking objectively fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of times
we should all be able to agree on that.
It's like she said, they'll put a stunt person in or a body double or whatever, right?
Right.
But that doesn't change the implication that there's some funky shit going on with the little kid here.
Well, but then you also have to be really careful when it comes to censoring shit like that, because I remember when they were putting forward a bill to like ban like child prawn, it included Lolita. It included Nabokov's novel. It included it would have covered a lot of shit, and it didn't pass, thank goodness, right? Because it even would have made magazines like Hustler barely legal.
Well, that's because they always make it more than what they always try to get more than just what really needs to be done.
Right. So the guys who were into that, I mean, it's like in Japan, it's like, it's like they get like these 18-year-old girls to dress like they're 15, right? Mm-hmm. And which is it's a little greasy. It's
but
a little
the age
greasy,
of
but
consent there is also lower.
That's right.
Than in America, and I mean their population, like it's in a. It sucks to be them. It's like terrible.
Yeah.
Right down. Yeah.
I've got a friend who lives in Tokyo, and he said it's like very fucked up. But yeah, this young man, Elliot Fulham, it's like you can see he's got like fake blood on his face here, but I mean, he hangs out with Slayer, right?
Exactly.
So if he's into like metal, it's I would imagine he had fucking
cover,
fun
dude.
making
There's
this thing.
like just every cover. There's somebody like hacked up, like their guts are everywhere. Especially
Right,
death
Cannibal
metal.
Corpse.
It's like dude, I love
Blalock.
Cannibal Corpse.
Me too.
Obituary's great, and it's just
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, I mean, it's interesting that this movie's very metal, but you don't hear any metal in it, right? It has like that. It's like mostly new retro wave, but
that, and then you have like the
cool.
whole Frazetta feeling in there too. You know what I mean? And the Conan feeling, like right here, she's a beaten and tattered angel. Going to slay the demon.
Yep.
That's something you'd see like in a Frazetta piece, even.
Yep. Yeah. But yeah, Maiden Hell mentioned Mia Sara. I think she was like 15. I think when she made Legend, right? But she ain't naked in that. 15 was she 15 or 16? I think she may have been 16. I forget. But let me see. So everybody, go check out Terrifier 2. Link is in the description below. Matt, your general feelings about this film?
Oh, it's a cruel movie, but it's also groundbreaking. It's a real fucking horrific movie. Just as good as the first one, if not better. It's open to debate. You know what I mean? And the way, again, third time, I'm probably saying this on the stream, where he's taking the sequel, and this is, it's bold, and a lot of people don't do that with their, they just basically, it's like another part of the first movie or the first draft or the first, comic or whatnot. The second one, that's what it is. It's all one story. This one, it's like a total different palette cleanse of genre as well. Like it doesn't go in the same exact, it's not playing the same notes as the first one. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. It's different. And what can I say? I thought it was better.
Yeah.
I think it's a step up, actually.
Yeah, it is. Like just looking at it, it's better,
It's across the board.
Yep.
Right. Oh, Maiden says there's an MGMT clip where a 2-year-old is walking around amongst zombies. It's hard to watch as he's clearly terrified. I have seen that video, and actually, they're not zombies, but they're like people in these like paper mache monster costumes.
Yeah.
And this little kid's scared out of his fucking wits. Yeah.
You got to scare kids. Eventually, they're going to get scared. Life's scary, but I mean, there's a time and an age for everything,
Yeah.
There's
you don't want to traumatize them, like fuck them up too early,
Right.
We get a Ted Bundy out of that.
Well, I mean, this, yeah, exactly. You're man, yeah. If a kid goes on a killing spree, we know who to blame.
Yeah, zombies, like Frailty.
Right. Another really good movie. Although I thought the ending on that was a little botched, but
I liked it.
Yeah, but you know what? It kept me nailed to my fucking seat.
Did we do that movie?
No.
So I just went and watched it because I was like, oh, I want to watch fucking Frailty because I watched it I watched it about a month ago or maybe 2 months ago.
You know what I want to do on here that I still can't because I'm adhering to that strict rule that will only do movies that are not behind a paywall so people can click on the link and watch the freaking movie.
Yeah.
All of when Dillard came in here when we were doing Train to Busan, it was like, oh, this looks cool. Bye.
Yeah.
I'll go watch it.
You guys leave.
Yeah. Peace. Which is totally cool. The movie that I keep wanting to do is Woke Black Christmas.
Yeah, the movie I want to see is the one with Bill Paxton, dude. The one where he's the vampire with Lance Henriksen, Catherine Bigelow.
Near Dark. Yeah.
And I haven't watched it just because I'm waiting for it to become available.
Rewatch it. I rewatched it a couple of days ago. I've
never seen it. I want to watch it. Yeah,
it's hard to find online. You need to get the DVD.
I got mine. I got mine right over here.
Seems like he classes up, like makes every movie he's in better. Bill Paxton. Yeah. Sometimes it's just little roles that he's in, and
it's so sad that he's passed.
Yeah. The last movie he did was Texas Rising. That movie was okay. It was kind of docu-y, but it was good.
He was just about to direct a movie based on a Joe Lansdale novel.
Ooh, nice.
And he was getting ready for that. It was going to, pre-production was all finished and everything. He died right before they started filming. But the most quotable man of the 80s, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Fasten your fucking seatbelts.
and Biff, or what is it? It's the older brother on Weird Science. I've seen the movie 1,000 times, but his name escaped. Chet. Oh shit!
But first, I want to butter your muffin.
Yeah, dude, they have a Philip Marlowe movie out, dude, with Liam Neeson. Did you know that?
Yeah.
I saw it at the Red Box. I was like, whoa, Marlowe. I don't know. I was thinking.
I'm a huge Philip Marlowe fan.
I know, and I seen that there, and I seen Renfield. I was like, damn, double feature, baby. And I was like, nah, I'm gonna get going, pick up my groceries and bounce.
Right. But the great thing is, it's like now you don't even have to go to the movies. You don't have to go to the video store. You can just get this shit online, and now you can even just watch it for free.
Yeah,
which is amazing.
And you don't even need you don't even need a cable service. You turn your PlayStation on, download the apps. You can watch whatever. You can watch a Tubi, Hulu, all that shit. Man, I'm in.
Yeah, but people invest in physical media because all the shit is going bye-bye. It's too good.
All the censorship, dude. It's so sickening, and it's on stuff that doesn't need to be. Like if you go to Disney Plus, they censor stuff all the time. It's like
that's the future.
Splash, they're censoring that. It's like, why on earth would you bother with Splash?
Wait, so they're cutting I'm guessing Daryl Hannah's Beautiful Butox.
Yeah, they cut it out, and then people got upset, and they put it back in. But they put like an age lock on it. Your account has to be, certain age to view it.
Really? Just Butox?
Yeah.
It's not. Oh God.
Like these are some weak people out here. Like
no
so
shit.
soft.
Yeah, well, I mean,
they need to get out, get some fresh air, take a walk.
They all need to get laid.
That too. It's just like
look. You remember the end of Caddyshack?
Yes.
We're all gonna get laid. Dangerfield stands out in the fairway and he says, "We're all gonna get laid." Everybody cheers.
Yeah. You know how many people would be offended now by that? It's so sad.
Completely freaked out. Although I'm kind of,
but then they say stuff like they get so insulted by stuff and triggered over nonsense. But then the stuff that they're championing is like so morally bankrupt, and you're just how is this
drag queen story hour?
I'm sorry, I can't get down with what you're behind. I'm sorry.
Leave the kids alone. I swear, people are out here literally trying to corrupt kids. Like I'm sorry, going off on like a side note.
No, it's okay.
I see it every day, and it gets me. It's like kids can't just be kids. And go, sneak into a theater and try to watch like Terminator 2.
Can't even watch
Instead,
TV.
They're getting indoctrinated with just absolute drivel. Then you see these sad videos like of people just totally regretting their decisions, and it's so sad.
Yeah, it is. Maidenhell says, I saw a version of The Omen with the Mrs. Blalock scenes still in it for the first time in years, just the other week. Well, I mean,
have to ask Doc about that. What's the Miss Blalock?
That's what I was thinking.
Mrs. Blalock, she's the one who hangs, who self-deletes. Yeah. She's the one who goes, Damien, it's all for you, and then hangs herself. Yeah. And of course, I remember as a little kid watching fucking that sheet of glass cutting fucking David Warner's head off. That was fucking badass.
You know he almost played Freddy, right?
David Warner?
Yeah, he had the role locked in. There's actually like footage of his face, but he couldn't make it back. He was already in the role. He couldn't make it back, so they had to get Robert Englund, and they didn't want him. He had just done like fucking Star Trek or some shit. Like he just.
How funny is that? The guy, you're like, bump that guy.
Oh, dude,
it happens all the
time. Fistful of Dollars. Clint Eastwood, the man with no name. He was literally the 11th choice.
Wow.
He was not even in their top 10.
Fucking weird, right?
The guy at the very bottom, the 10th guy that they asked, was like, "Nah, I want to do this other movie, this Peplum, but I got this friend that plays a cowboy on American TV." Like, okay, all right, I guess we'll use him. Yeah, and you can't imagine anybody else playing that character now.
Right.
No.
Same thing with Aragorn too from Lord of the Rings. The Viggo was the second choice. They casted Stuart Townsend from Queen of the Damned, the one that played Lestat. Yeah. He had the role.
Too young.
They got Viggo and worked out.
I've always suspected that what happened there was that, oh yeah, Maiden corrects me. Nope, she's the nanny. And the dad forks her. Okay. Oh, God damn. But what the hell
is that Mid-Journey art right there? It looks like Mid-Journey.
Might be. It might be. I found like a surprising amount of fan art because
already too, right? And
yeah,
it's only a year, right?
Yep, that's a pillow, I think.
I like that one a lot. Both those that one and the one before it. And I also like the locale at the end of the movie. I want to talk about that. Like, obviously he's a clown. It's a it's a perfect way to end the sequel. They didn't do it in the first one. He's like, you know what? If this is my last one, I'm gonna put him in a fucking circus. Like an abandoned kind of like amusement park. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, the climax is really good. I just really thought that this movie delivered.
And Texas Chainsaw 2, right? Then you have like at the end of that, both they end like in an abandoned amusement park. Another sequel, Halloween 2, the dream sequence in the hospital. This one has a dream sequence, but it's a Barney show. It's
great.
It was original though, dude. The way they did with him,
right.
You hadn't really seen a dream like that, like in a horror movie. Before.
It doesn't feel like what. You see this also with Panos Cosmatos, right? It's like I look at like I always complain about Tarantino and Rob Zombie because they're just lifting shit whole cloth, right? Where like they're stealing like scenes. Whereas I look at Leone's movies and I look at Panos Cosmatos' movies, like his first one, Beyond the Black Rainbow. I remember watching that and thinking, wow, he really likes David Cronenberg. But there was nothing specific in that movie that was taken from David
nail
Cronenberg.
It down.
Right. And then with Mandy, I was like, wow, this dude really, really likes David Lynch. But there's nothing.
That definitely Twin Peaks it up. But still, it was like not like it was something to me that was something different. You know what I mean?
Right. If you're gonna imitate something, imitate maybe a feel or a style. Right?
Yeah.
Don't just lift shit whole cloth.
Yeah. Like in here, like okay, you can put the amusement park at the end, like Texas Chainsaw 2, but he's a fucking clown. You know what I mean? You're gonna do a dream sequence again? Okay, well, we'll do a fucking Krusty the Clown show. You know what I mean? So
it is
again,
always
organic too with the character.
It is always effective to take something that's old and make it fresh again. Right?
Yeah.
That's
totally.
That's what was so big about Star Wars.
Well, that's what we all do too, though. You know what I mean? Like we're always going to do that, but we have to do it in a certain style. We got to do it in style, man.
Right? Unless you're like Crystal, in which case you're just like doing something that's like from outer space, or well, I shouldn't say outer space, more like
outer space.
her fucked up head. She has a very, very bizarre imagination, and I found it captivating. We should take another look at your
dude.
Campaign
sometimes just like your personal experiences. It's like you've seen some things.
Yeah.
And like creatively, you're trying to like get it out of your head and onto the page, and it
there's a feeling of exorcism there.
Oh,
yeah.
Spooky.
Yeah, most definitely. So everybody, go check out The Goodnight Paradise Lost #2. Crystal's looking to reach a $5,000 goal here.
Yep.
She deserves your attention. She deserves your support. Let me see.
And if you can't support, you can always support in a different way. I mean, financially support. You can always share out the link. That's extremely helpful.
It really is. I can never emphasize that enough.
Like there's some people, especially in indie comics and Comicsgate, that are like the link pushers, and they're just like crazy. I don't know how they do it, but they're
they are the unsung.
They're the MVPs.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Yeah, totally.
And we love and appreciate those people.
Yep.
Because that's the other thing too. It's like if you're a comics creator and you've been blessed, and you actually get to do this shit, fucking give back, right? And highlight your fellow indie creators any chance you get.
Yeah. And there's different ways to do that, whether it's financially sharing the link, it's all good.
Yes, or having you on a live stream to talk about filthy, trashy horror movies.
Exactly.
Together a network of 40 shows with all kinds of people talking about all kinds of other people's stuff.
There we go. There we go. There it is. God damn, man. I am running out of steam. But yeah, everybody.
Need more coffee, Brian.
Oh, God.
Need that like Death Wish, Black Rifle.
Yeah.
You need something.
That's what I'm drinking. I'm drinking the 6-shooter one.
Java.
Dude, yes.
Double the
I have
fans.
like 3 bags of that stuff. That's like, yeah. Can't run out of that. Can't run out.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, I mean, I had some tea before, but there's something about and the thing about tea is like it can, especially green tea, which is what I normally drink, that has a lot of caffeine in it, and it doesn't get you jittery the way that coffee does.
Right.
Nothing fires up the neurons like coffee.
Exactly. Like sometimes you need the coffee. Like for me, I'll have tea like later on in the night when I'm like, all right, no more coffee.
Yeah,
or it's a hot day. Then like usually I want coffee in the morning or late at night when it's kind of cool. When it's hot, maybe I could sip on some tea.
Yeah, and a nice green tea is very refreshing.
I used to drink green tea and honey back in the metal days.
Honey, no, don't add that.
To fix the throat.
Okay, to fix the throat. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because I've seen some chicks will pour that honey into there, and I'm like, dude, that's all honey right now. There's no tea.
Oh yeah, just a little bit, and nice and hot.
I first had green tea. I had a friend at university that was a student from Japan, and so he turned. I'd never had green tea before, and he served it with these little candies that were made out of confectionery sugar.
Mm-hmm.
And what they do is like they pop those as they're like drinking the tea. But yeah, I like it just straight and unsweetened.
Oh yeah, that's how I have my coffee. Nothing extra. Now occasionally, if like I'm meeting family or something or whatever out and about, I might get more of like a frilly drink. But most of the time, it's mostly just social events. I might get it because I have regular coffee all the time. Just straight, nothing in there. So it's like, might as well, get an iced coffee with some creamer. But outside of that, I just can't. It has to be, straight, dark.
Yeah, I just drink it black. I just drink it black with 1 scoop of sugar.
I'm a punani. I gotta have like some half and half in there.
I used to, but sugar. You can't taste the bean. Like, and I learned that from my uncle-in-law. I'm like, what'd you put in there? This is good. You put any cream or sugar in there? No, it's just the coffee with some sugar by itself. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, oh yeah. He's like, yeah, you can taste the bean that way. I'm like, oh, okay. And there's different breeds of beans of coffee, right?
So, yeah. Oh, there's some more naturally sweeter coffee beans out there. And then there are pretty good on occasion.
For sure. And then there are people that somehow have like this magic gift to make awesome coffee, even though they're just using a coffee.
Yes.
Yes.
But they've got the touch. Yeah.
Yep.
AA peeps, like for sure. Like if you have a friend and they're from AA, let them make the coffee. That's my experience.
It's all in the measurement too, dude. Like the water, like how much of the scoop of the water and how much it has to be eyeballed just right,
Yeah.
They're like, you have not had coffee made in an actual percolator.
Yeah.
You've never had coffee.
No, I agree. The more natural you get and whatnot, the better it is. I just use Mr. Coffee, like the little.
I didn't even drink sugar back then. The lady that actually gave me the nickname Van Zant, I used to make her coffee in the morning. It's like she'd kick me out the bed. She'd be like, "Go make coffee, Van Zant." And it's like, there I was in the kitchen making coffee, but she had an old percolator.
Yeah.
And I guess I was really good at it because she didn't even, when I was around, she wouldn't even fuck with that thing. It's like, go make me some coffee, Van Zant. Okay, I got you.
Some people just got that magic touch. What can I say? Maiden Hell says, I thought the milk in my coffee was making me feel ill. Turned out to be the sugar. Yeah, fucking sugar is horrible for you, and it's hard to avoid because it's in everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, will get you. If it's not cancer and stress, then diabetes will get you.
Something you can
those are the 3 hitters.
Honey, if anything you can substitute honey for sugar, do it.
Oh yeah. I put agave syrup in
coffee,
tea.
I put
goes great.
honey in coffee all the time. Man.
Yeah, honey's also good. But I mean, like agave, surprisingly, it's like I actually like that. It mixes better than honey for some reason. I don't know what it is.
You
Agave
get used to it too after about a month or so. You're like, this is good.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Try to. You're not going to be able to keep sugar out of your diet. That shit's unrealistic.
You can measure it though.
Right.
You can add it at the end, just like salt. You can add it at the end.
Definitely reduce.
And take it out.
Yep. For sure. So everybody, go check this campaign out. It is looking sweet. It is looking.
That's the cover right there, the main cover. That's by George. George. Doing the new Razorfist book.
Yeah, I was just about
Goes to the
say.
Badlands. That guy's a great artist. He's got a lot of styles, huh?
He also did the sort of world map for Zarthus.
Ooh, nice.
I actually have it here. 1 second.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
sweet.
It's like pretty cool.
Oh, hold up.
It's like an old Conan. Hey, it's like an old Conan style map, so it's pretty nifty.
Yeah. It's the map of Hyboria. What up, Chris? Look, Chris on camera. That's a historic moment right there.
It doesn't happen often.
I was going to say, if you remember back in the day, any book that had a map in it,
dude, I loved it. Yeah.
You would go.
You open up Lord of the Rings, right? And you have the map.
And the Conan books, Hyboria.
Yeah, I'm a map stand. I don't care what it is. I don't care if you're
I love
in an
people
apartment
that
building the whole
have
book.
maps because I like to be able to reference back to where they are in the book.
Exactly.
Yeah, because in the story, characters are traveling all over this world called Zarthus. That's Queen Belladonna's homeworld, and it's a living planet. It's actually alive, and it kind of feeds off of the royals' energy. So it's feeding off of Queen Belladonna's. And, it kind of takes two to tango, let's say. So it's missing a piece. So this world is dying, in a sense. And she's kind of getting her revenge because of that. And you're going to kind of see what's going on with that.
So is some of the book in color and some of it is in black and white? Or?
Yeah. So with the color pages, anything that's in color is a flashback.
Sweet.
Nice.
That's dope.
Yep.
That's dope.
Nice. That's the thing. It's like I'm not going to
name reverse
names.
Too.
Yep.
Exactly.
Right.
And there's like a weird story mechanic too as to why it's like the past is in color, because we have this character that pops up later, and they're kind of like the originator of color in our universe. So there was a time that they sort of, as long as they're like awake and sentient, everything has color.
Yeah.
But let's say something happens to this character, and in present day there's no color because that person is sort of like in hibernation. So
that's cool.
And I'm trying to remember the name of the artist.
It sounds
here.
weird, but like it makes more sense when
it is weird.
You
Crystal.
read
Yeah,
it.
you don't want to spoil
It is
it.
weird.
Exactly.
But that's what you're there for.
And it's just cool too because, like, sometimes you might be in a world that's kind of, I'm not saying it's your story, but it might be in a world that's kind of fucked up, and life is gone. You know what I mean? The life has been sucked from said world, and the life is the rich color and the soul of the world is gone.
Right.
So.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, and your artist Francisco Narde, am I saying that correctly?
Yep.
Okay.
That's
yeah.
about right.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. No. His stuff is really unique.
He has a mixed media style for this. So I've said it a couple of times, but he'll have a canvas, and there's charcoal, there's paints. He's working with all sorts of materials to get the look that he does, and then he just kind of puts into Photoshop, cleans it up, and then sends those pages on over to me.
He's
and the original art for this looks insane. When you see the original art, I have all sorts of pages all over, and it's very kind of spooky because it's like each character has life behind their eyes.
Right.
It's just
it's like a photorealistic style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It goes really well with your writing and creating a sense of the uncanny.
Mm-hmm. Because even just like Sir Alexander, like his eyes on that page that you're on.
Yeah.
with like kind of the Dutch tilt. Like his eyes have so much light behind them. It's wild.
Yes. Yeah. I really enjoyed the first one. When I have the dinero, I'm gonna fucking back this for sure. And everybody, go check it out. Crystal's doing something that's really it's not like anything that anybody else is doing right now. So go check that shit out.
I appreciate
it. Thank you so much for hanging out. We appreciate that.
Yeah, it's good to see you. I ain't talked to you in a while.
I know. I've been busy.
busy is good.
Me too.
So Crystal, tell these fools where they can find you.
Well, you can find me on Twitter at Crystal McGhee, just like how it looks on the screen there. You can check out mysticalcomics.com if you want to check out the first issue and get the PDF there to kind of get caught up. And yeah, I do a lot of stuff on Twitter, so you'll kind of see all of the links and all the places that I'm at and what I'm up to on Twitter. You can also look up The Good Night on not Instagram. That lack of
TikTok maybe?
We'll get there. Oh, not TikTok. TikTok is a scourge.
Oh my God.
On Indiegogo, you can back the campaign and, share out the links. You want to see more of this.
Yes.
All of the artwork for issue 2 is complete. And Francisco is actually about to wrap up the 3rd issue. So if you guys want to see more issues coming out at a lot quicker pace, share out the links. If there's shows that you'd like me to go on, respectfully, maybe, tag some people in posts, get the link out there. And
Yeah. Because, folks, that does make a big fucking difference.
Yeah.
And,
you wouldn't think so, but you get like about 10 people out here with a link and
Yeah. Because look, the biggest obstacle that we have as indie creators is always just getting people to know that we fucking exist.
Exactly. Because we're still building our bases, and that takes time, and in some cases that can take multiple years. Like if you think about like Mr. Beast or PewDiePie, there was a time where they're like barely getting 20 clicks. And then all of a sudden they had that hit and boom, like on everybody's radar.
Yep.
But that for some people takes time.
Yeah. It does. Sure as shit does. Pops, what do you want to say to these people?
First I'm going to say Madness Comic Network on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. You guys know. But there is also the best kept secret on Facebook, the Comic Related Madness. That's where this all began. A networking community of 2,500 people.
Yeah.
Drop your links. Drop your stuff there. Show everybody what you got. That's why we built it.
Hell yeah.
We built all this. When I'm live, when you're live, look, go sub to Brian's channel. Go sub to Matt. Metal Movies and Brewskis. Go sub to Crystal's. I just subbed to Crystal's. Go sub to Crystal's channel.
Hell
look,
yeah.
Do this stuff, man.
Yeah, man.
Support each other.
Hell yeah. That's what it's about. That's what I'm talking about. Matt, tell these foos where they can find you.
You guys can find me at Runecutter Comics, at Runecutter Comic on Twitter. You can also check out my YouTube channel. It's Metal Movies and Brewskis, where I talk about those things. And actually, right now I have a June Doom special for art. If you guys are looking for something for a cover or something like that.
Oh, dude.
If you guys need some black and white line art for a trading card, $50 a piece. Dude. So just let me know and I can we'll work something out.
You know what, Matt?
Hit me in the DM. $50.
That's
Matt,
a steal.
Carissa.
It is. Yeah, for
you
real.
need to get a hold of Carissa at Worthy Chaos and draw her skeleton birds, dude. They're like skeleton vultures. It's
really?
Dude, it's right up your.
Yeah. And Crystal also, I forgot to mention, you have a fan art contest for
yes.
For
so
your
the fan art the first issue, we actually had a section. Let me pull it up in the actual book here and turn on the camera. But the winner, which was Leo, he had this main this main one here, and he did a great job on it, and we highlighted a couple other runner-ups, so it's pretty cool.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and there's actually a prize. This year, I believe we put it up to 200, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me. But last year we did 100. So if you are, an artist, you want to give it a shot, have your artwork show up in the book. It's a super cool way to, get it seen. And it's nifty.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I love the fan art. It's so cool.
It is. It is. Oh my God. Yeah. No, it makes you. Yeah. It's just like. Yeah. It's like you like me. You really like me.
Yeah.
Everybody, you can check me out on the Twitter at Brian Christgau. You can check me out on the Facebooks at Brian Christgau. You can check me out on the YouTubes. Smash that like button and click the subscribe and ring your ding ding dong the bell for notifications. I've also got a campaign on Indiegogo for Six Gun Gorilla: The Great Silence. Go check that out. I don't think I'm shadow banned, so I think you can actually look it up and check it out without a hassle. So yeah, Paz, do you want to take us out?
Yeah, and I'm going to start with that. What do you think of that?
Crystal, thank you so much for hanging out once again, and congratulations on the launch.
Thank you.
You got it. You got it. Everybody, until we see you next time, peace, love, and metal.